to find the sweet spot on the political spectrum is to examine our capital P's and Q's with Angela Buckner. The views and opinions expressed in this channel are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they may represent or affiliate with. Traditional radio is becoming a thing of the past. No need to panic. There's no need to fear. The DMJ Broadcast Ministry of Daryl Moore Jr. is here, ready to help you navigate yourself right into some inspiration, laughter, and motivation. Because after all, it is an inspirational radio station. Allow us to help you get through your night, day, week, month, and the entire year. To get through, call 662-947-1773 or scan the QR code.
Medicare. Are you turning 65 or new to Medicare? Part A and B. If so, you may qualify for additional benefits at no cost to you. Are you a veteran with Medicare Part A and B? If so, you may qualify for additional benefits at no cost to you. Call your local licensed professional agent, Juanita Lacey Larry. Don't hesitate. Call her today, 662-515-9414. Your local agent is waiting for you, 662-515-9414. That's Juanita Lacey Larry, 662-515-9414.
What you're doing right now and download the G Wood Live app. It's absolutely free. There's no cost. I'll say it again. It's absolutely free. It's your way to stay connected and stay involved in the community. Download the G Wood Live app on your Apple or your Google Play. Stay connected, stay positive, stay involved. Download the G Wood Live app today.
Because accidents can happen anytime, anywhere. You might need an attorney named Malik Z. Shabazz with 26 years personal injury experience, providing nationwide services. Attorney Malik Z. Shabazz has collected millions for his clients, and you could be next. Call today, 301-513-5444. Beat the summer heat at Cypress Hills Resort in Greenville, Mississippi. At Cypress Hills Resort, summertime is a fun time where you and your family can take advantage of the newly remodeled swimming pool. Membership is affordable, but space is limited, so hurry. Join in person at the pool house and then take a splash for only $350 per family. If you're looking to turn your special event into a reality, Cypress Hills Resort can help with that too. Give Alyssa a call today. And welcome to our inaugural show where we are staying on our capital P's and Q's, and we have a special guest with us on this evening. I am so nervous, and I'm just also glad that he's here with me to make some sense of some of the things happening in our state. And we have some breaking news here in the Mississippi Delta area, and we want to make certain that we bring that out. We got to mention this information because if we don't, who will do it, right? And so instead of me just knowing this information and not bringing it up, I said, well, let me get with someone who can better explain this stuff. Give me just a second. And the person on the screen right now you're looking at is DeMarcus Peoples. And DeMarcus Peoples is a veteran when it comes to law enforcement. And we just wanted to talk a little bit about what's going on, because I know that people are looking for someone to head up their police departments left and right. We have people leaving. We do know that Humphreys County is, or should I say Belzoni is looking for a chief. We have people who are filling in for interim positions and things like that. And when I think of someone who could possibly fill in one of those positions, I think of DeMarcus He was, I think, one of the youngest to be a chief across this great state of Mississippi. And I also think of Sherrod Reed. Sherrod Reed was a name that was mentioned. A lot of people are very concerned, trying to see if he is willing to leave his humble abode and fill in and try to become a chief and fill in one of these positions in some of these respective areas. So we never know. We never know. Um, Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I need to talk a little bit about what we discussed this morning. We talked about Mayor Ken Cox over in the Greenwood area, and they had a major meeting on yesterday in Greenwood, and that information was brought to you by none other than G Wood Live and the DMJ Radio. Um, Platform. So we were very grateful that our sister affiliates were able to cover that. And today was, well, the aftermath of what happened with the city board meeting. And people were really concerned about what was going to happen. This was his first agenda. He had half and half, he had, what do I mean? Okay, if you're looking at the screen, you'll see he got 8 yes and 8 no, two tabled. And I think a win is a win. You can't go wrong with that. And again, you can't go wrong with that. Um, so I just wanted to touch on that. Also, my shirts came in. My shirt came in with Clay Edwards. If anybody knows anything about the Mike magazine, they know that Clay Edwards is one of my guys, man. He's one of my favorite guys, right? And so, finally got my shirt, the FAFO. He covers that Jackson area, and you may not agree with the way he delivers his message, but guess what? I've gone on his show more than once, and I never go with the intention of trying to make him behave or browbeat or change who he is. We watch Clay Edwards because we want to hear what he has to say. Now, if you look to the left, you see me there in a referee shirt with a whistle, right? And that represents none other than our congressional whistleblower, um, Fred Chambliss, also Leon Seals, and Justin Fowler also wears a referee shirt like that. And so I ended up getting my shirts on the same day. And I just wanted to show support to both of those platforms, right? Because those guys are doing some phenomenal things. And it may seem unorthodox to some, the way they cover stories, but we want to hear what independent media has to say. I know I do. You'll never find me trying to tell a grown man how to um, conduct himself, how to feel. That takes away from the fun of it all because, with Fred Chambliss, he's going to lace his conversation sometimes with colorful words. And, I just ask him to be mindful of my sponsors, but I know exactly what he means. And with that being said, I'm going to go on and take this picture down and hey, go cop that merch from Clay Edwards. Listen, this is what he does. And if you feel free and you feel led to go and get you a referee shirt, by all means, go get one. And don't forget the whistle. Okay? Go get that whistle, right? And we're gonna be standing up for people. And with people like Fred Chambliss, with all jokes aside, he has been seeking justice for a while now, and that story is out there. We did an investigative report on him, and you can go watch that on the Mike magazine on YouTube. But he's been on the cover of the Mike magazine. We got Clay Edwards coming to be on the cover of the Mike magazine in the fall. We're gonna have Fabian Nelson on the cover of the Mike magazine. Yes, we doing it, y'all. I'm telling you. People are standing up and they're using their influence. If you know anything about Clay Edwards, um, Anthony Fox was one of the guys. He just kept his name in the media. on his platform. And Clay Edwards is, let me get back in here. Clay is an independent media outlet, nevertheless, and some may say he's not a journalist, and he will tell you he's not, right? But his influence is still important, especially to me, right? And so we want to make certain that um, we keep in mind that um, grassroots is where it's at. We're making moves, man. We're running these social media streets out here. And without further ado, we're gonna get Fabian Nelson in here because I got some questions. Give me just a second. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hello, good evening. How are you?
I'm
You-
nervous. I
I
listen.
am too.
You
You
make
say
me
you got
nervous.
questions. I'm nervous too because I don't know what these questions are. We both nervous.
Listen, you guys, the Mike magazine has been printed and we do a double cover issue. And you're looking at Fabian Nelson on the show, but what you don't know is that he is also a contributing writer for the Mike magazine. And I'm about to show you his article, man. He is published along with some more people. Look at this. Boom.
Oh my goodness, I like that.
Fabian Nelson.
Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Got me looking good in there. I
Hello,
appreciate
somebody. And we don't take that for granted, man. We are so grateful, that you take out the opportunity to make a major contribution to someone in the Mississippi Delta area. Um, and I know you're no stranger. For those who don't know you, tell us who you are and what you represent. That's one easy question, right?
That's an easy question. And Mississippi
Okay.
Delta, I'm homegrown. I'm from the Delta. I'm
Hmm.
from Yazoo City. So everybody in Indianola, other Belzona say that's not the Delta, that's the Gateway, but I claim it as being the Delta.
It is
Um,
the Delta. Hmm.
so born and raised in the Delta, understand the things that are going on up there in the Delta.
Hmm.
Although I don't represent that area, I represent the Southern Hines County area. I still fight and advocate for things in the Delta because there's so much
Hmm.
potential up there in the Delta, and the Delta is just a beautiful place.
It
But uh,
is.
but I want to thank you for allowing me to come on. Definitely excited. I appreciate the work that you
Hmm.
do.
Thank you.
You made a point about Clay Edwards saying that he's not a journalist. Well, you're not a journalist either. You just tell a story as to how it needs to be told. And that's what we
Hmm.
need. We need someone that's going to be out there and talking about the real issues, not trying to be
Hmm.
politically correct all the time, but just
Hmm.
telling the truth. So I appreciate all of the work that you do in that area.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And with Clay, some people say, "Oh, he's just a jerk, and he's talking down on us and things like that." Well, in college, and even when I was teaching on the university level, my mentor told me, "Hey, it would be important for you to listen to more than CNN, listen to MSNBC, listen to Fox, listen to CNN, listen to the BBC, and being a journalist and going to school for it, I already knew that I needed to listen to those different platforms, but I try to tell people who follow this platform to educate themselves and don't go over and try to change somebody, right? Listen, take from it what you can get from it, and I use it to better myself and my community, and I really appreciate what Clay Edwards brings to the table as it relates to his influence with Anthony Fox. We know, and he's a black guy. Anthony Fox would have probably still been incarcerated. He's law enforcement. He has since been reinstated and everything since Clay Edwards was one who was out there letting them know, hey, don't forget about Anthony Fox. And sometimes his language would get colorful when he talked about Anthony Fox, but people understood exactly what he meant. And I'm just grateful to Clay. And if you follow him, he'll give the FAFO championship out to any and everybody. They can get it. um,
Absolutely. And back to Anthony Fox. Just to show how Clay's influence helped him, the attorney general got involved to make sure
yes,
that this man was ultimately acquitted because he was innocent.
yes,
And
that's right.
And when we talk about abuse of power within our
Mm-hmm.
judicial system, that's
Mm-hmm.
another issue of it. Lack of oversight
Mm-hmm.
within the judicial system, it leads to that.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you said, I listen to Clay. So he says
Mm-hmm.
some things I don't agree with, I don't like. He,
Mm-hmm.
he says some things I like, but that's everywhere. Any journalist you listen to,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to like
Mm-hmm.
100% of what they say, but I like
Mm-hmm.
when I can listen to different perspectives and get different views.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a
Mm-hmm.
PhD student at Jackson State, and the
Woo,
first night of class, one of my professors, Dr.
woo.
Stokes, told us, "Y'all got to start watching Fox News." I'm like, "Oh." So she said, "You got to watch
Yes.
Fox News so you can see what all of the outlets are saying." And I
Yes.
learned so much when I look at what Fox and CNN, and so
Yes.
that's important. You got to be educated on the issues because every person has an agenda. CNN is going to
Mm-hmm.
have their agenda, Fox is going to have theirs, but it's up to
Mm-hmm.
us to dissect the information and figure out where we
Mm-hmm.
stand on the issues.
Absolutely. And I want to say, congratulations, man.
Well,
PhD
thank
program.
you. The Public Policy and Administration.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Wow.
Thank
And
you.
with that being said, we got, if we shut out other people's perspectives, what are we doing? We're only listening to things that we want to say or things that we agree with. But if you don't educate yourself, because I lost a supporter, right, who personally sent a text message to my phone saying, "Hey, if you are going to uh, share this guy on your page, if you're going to endorse this Clay Edwards guy, I'm gonna have to go." And I said, "Well, uh, that's your choice." But I tried to educate that supporter before they left, to just like what you said, your college professor was encouraging you all to do as students, allow other people's narratives to come across your ear. You may not agree with it, but why did what was said upset you? Is it because it was shocking, or is it because there's some truth to it? And enough about Clay Edwards. That's my guy. Listen, I've been on his show a couple of times. I love him like a brother from another mother. I truly do, and I respect him. Fabian, July 1st meant a lot to us here in this state, and we're going to examine our capital P's and Q's on this evening. I have from Trace Spillman's page. I like to give credit where I'm getting things from. I'm sorry, Trey Spillman posted this on social media, his Facebook page, which is out there in public domain, and he talked about law changes taking effect July 1st. Now, today is the 16th. Nevertheless, we're still going to talk about some of these things. So, what are we looking at right here? And to let them know you are in the house, right?
I'm in the best
And
part of the capital.
you are in the house. And
Yeah.
so with that being said, we're going to see HB, SB. SB means Senate bill, HB means House bill. Now, can you make us understand why it is so important for them to know that that Senate bill has to it comes through you all first before it goes to them?
Absolutely. Here in Mississippi, we do. So when we look at a senator and we look at a state representative, we
Mhm.
all do the exact same job. So we author legislation in both chambers. The only thing differently that the senators do is they confirm governor appointees.
Mhm.
So what happens is we all author bills, and towards the middle of session, we call a switchover. And so once we
Okay.
approve our bills in the House and they approve theirs in the Senate, we swap. So they take our
Mhm.
bills and we take theirs because they have to pass both chambers before they go to the governor. A lot of
Mhm.
times, what we'll see happen is we have what are called companion bills. And so
Mhm.
we will author it in both chambers to make sure
Mhm.
that we can get it out of committee because it stands a better chance. And so a lot of bills are duplicates.
Oh wow. Oh wow. And so let's look at this first thing that we got off Trace Billman's page. Senate Bill, how do you say it? 2208. It says
2208.
increases the penalty for making a terroristic threat toward an airport, minimum 5 years in MDOC custody. Why not federal?
Absolutely. So that is actually making the sentence more strict. Because if you call a terroristic threat into an airport here in Mississippi, you're going to go to jail at MDOC for a minimum of 5 years.
Oh,
Now, what
wow.
people need to understand is they still will try you in federal court because it is
Oh,
a
wow.
federal offense. And so a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times we'll see federal laws because if we didn't have anything on the books in Mississippi, we can try in state court. But so
Mm-hmm.
we're making sure we have double protection. So you may get 5 years in the state penitentiary, you may get another 5 in the federal, um, you
Mm-hmm.
know, institution. But what happens is whenever these terroristic threats are called in, it really hurts us because when we talk about air traffic coming in, it's going to delay flight,
Mm-hmm.
delay plans, people get stuck and get stranded. So it's not just they go out there and police go investigate it. So these are serious things that are happening, and we're not tolerating it anymore.
Mm-hmm. Hey, and
Yeah.
look, now in our minds, they say, hey, everybody's in Jackson, they're in session. What are you all down there doing? Just sitting at your desk and taking pictures saying, I'm in the house.
A lot of people think that. A lot of people say, well,
I know, right?
that's it. Because I thought it before I got there. I'm like, okay, you know what? Oh, wow, we go there, you work for 3 months, and three
Yeah.
months out of session, you go home and you chill and you wait until next year. But in actuality, there's a lot of moving pieces. We actually work harder when we're not in session. But when
Wow.
we're in session, you don't see us on the floor a lot because we go
Mm-hmm.
in, we may be on the floor for maybe 1 hour, 2 hours. We do all of the work in committee meetings. And so in the
Mm-hmm.
mornings, we go to committee meetings. And so whenever you author a bill, it goes to the respective committee. And so it goes to
Mm-hmm.
the committee. We deliberate it in the committee. We voted out a committee. Then it comes to the floor. And so that's
Mm-hmm.
what we're doing in session. Now, when we're out of session, we're out in our community trying to figure out what our
Right.
municipalities need, our
Yes.
nonprofits need. We gotta go out there and get kitty cats out of trees.
It's expected. Hey, we got
Yeah,
great expectations for you all. Where and
yeah,
listen, for me, it's where is Otis Anthony? Where is
that's
he? That's my question.
that's
Where
it.
is
And so
Otis?
and after talking about legislation that's passed, as well as we're working on legislation we're going to work on next session. We're only there for 90 days. So we're working on bills now, getting them drafted so that in January we can go and get them introduced and kind of try to move the process along. And so it is they call it a part-time job, but it is 2 full-time jobs.
Oh, wow. It's a
It is.
doozy. I can only imagine. We have a comment here from Jason McCarthy, and he says, would love to see a one-sheeter with all new laws.
That
We're
is
working
great.
on it. We're gonna work on it. How about that?
That's it. Jason, when I see you next week, as we're supposed to be meeting next week, hopefully, I have my book. I'm going to get you a book with all of the major legislation. So I do a book at the end of each session, and I outline all of the new laws that went into effect. I actually got one right here on my desk. So
And Fabian, I want to say this. One thing I noticed about you, you are in your car updating us. You are in your home letting us know what's going on. But generally, we follow you. We go with you to wherever you're traveling to until you get off. And that's one thing that I truly appreciate about you. You take us with you. You never forget us. And I'm not even in your area, but I'm on the phone saying, "Hey Otis, when you gonna get in your car and talk to us?" Right? And that's, listen, that's not even Otis's way. I'm like, hey, bro, we need to do a little bit better. Cause Fabian Nelson, you know him? Yeah. He sits in the car and he talks to us and we go along for a ride with him yep, in the mornings. Yep. Whenever, yeah. Yeah. Hey, we need you to do better, man. But Otis Anthony and I, we're gonna work together on some things to make certain that people in our area know exactly what's going on. But I'm so grateful to have you here on this inaugural show where we focus in on examining our capital P's and Q's. The next thing on this list is SB Senate Bill 2311 creates the new crime of mail theft with defined penalties. What do we need? What's the takeaway from that? What do we just need to know about that?
So I'll tell you what's happening here in the city I live in and represent Byron, Mississippi. At our
Hmm.
post office, what we have happening is people go and they'll pay their bills, they'll mail a check to somebody.
Hmm.
Someone has a key to the mailboxes because the mailboxes are outside. So someone has a key. They go by there at late at night. They will take these people's mail, take the
Oh
checks
wow.
and wash them and put their names on it and deposit those checks. And
Hmm.
so, like I say, when we talk about USPS, that's a federal crime. When we talk about
Hmm.
federal courts, they're so backed up. So we're trying to find a way where we can also prosecute on the state level or the county
Hmm.
level as well. And so that's why we're making those penalties more strict.
Wow.
We're trying to mirror state federal law as much as we can.
I didn't think people were still writing checks, to pay bills and things of that magnitude because I don't. And that's called projection. And I'm
Uh-huh.
sorry, I'm guilty of it. I will project right on people.
Uh-huh.
Um we have a comment here from Zach Service, man. I love me some Zach Service, man. He
That's
but
my
the only
guy
thing
there.
only thing I don't like about Zach, Zach does not like to share his food. He'll put it out there on social media for you to ooh and ah over, and he's like, "Oh, that's just for me. That's my food. She made it for me." I'm like, "Okay, all right, Zach." No. Anyway, he says, "My wife and I were sad to find out that a bill died in committee that would have raised the threshold of income for home was bakeries to allow them to make up to 59K before having to move to a storefront." What is that about? Are you familiar with that, Diane?
I am not. Zach, if you can you put the bill number in there? And what happened, this probably went to Business and Commerce Committee, which is a committee I'm not on. And so I
Okay,
wouldn't see, so we're not on the committee, we don't see them. We'll simply come to our
gotcha.
committee. But yeah, Zach, please put that bill in there. I would like to kind of look at that and figure out what we need to do. Maybe get that back
Mm.
back going. I did not know that.
Yeah, definitely. Because small when I think of small businesses, I'm thinking, hey, people should be able to thrive, and not just trying to make it or trying to make it to a certain threshold, man. They should be able to survive and be glad to be called an American.
I mean, my thing is, if you can go in their kitchen and make $1 million baking cakes at your kitchen at your home kitchen, then
Hmm.
I don't know why that is. Why are they putting restrictions on somebody $59,000? And so I don't think that that should be a restriction. I'm gonna tell you, my mama, she loves to bake, and she said, "Don't nobody's oven bake better than hers." And so I can see her with her own business, and I'm not going to no storefront because that's gonna take the taste away from it.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Yes. And mhm.
yeah, we should either we say you can't do it in your home, or you can do it in your home with no restrictions when it comes to that. Because you're running a bakery, you're not running a restaurant out of your house. You're just baking things.
Yes, exactly. Zach Service says, I had some regulations we didn't like, but we would love to see Cottage Bakery allowed to make more. Now he has this Senate Bill 2265. Are you familiar with that?
I am not. And see, that one, we really wouldn't see that because it's a Senate bill. And so it never came to a House committee. And so we wouldn't touch it. I'm gonna kind of look it up though while we're talking because I'm curious about it. But this is why I like having open communication, conversations, let people weigh in because that's important. That's how you really find out what the need is and what the talk is. 'Cause I would have never known about this.
Absolutely. And one thing I love about Zach Service, man, he is on it and he generally talks what he knows.
Yes.
And so we're going to look into that. And in the meantime, it says House Bill 1459 allows the Mississippi Supreme Court to appoint judges for the Capital Complex Improvement District, which has been talked about a lot, but I didn't even know what CCID was. I heard CJ Lemester talking about that. And I'm like, what is CCID? But so they're going to have their own, I guess, branch of the judicial system going on, maybe in that area. I know you're looking up that information that Zach was talking about. Y'all, when I need to know something, I call Fabian Nelson.
Yeah, that's it.
I can't make this up.
Look, I try to stay in the know. I'm going to tell you something. When we look at House Bill 1459, that was an infamous bill in 2023, 2022, 23, House Bill 1020, which ultimately established the CCID, which is the Capital Complex Improvement District. So it ultimately kind of puts a city within a city, because what happens
Mm-hmm.
is with our police force, Capitol Police, this
Mm-hmm.
allows Capitol Police, that gives them jurisdiction in the CCID to ultimately do everything that other law enforcement officers would do.
Mm-hmm.
The one pushback that I had, an argument I made about it, is when it came to judges, judges should not be appointed. Judges should be elected according to the
Yes.
Mississippi Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem, that I do have. Now, ultimately what this bill does is the judges were all they appointed the judges last year, I want to
Already.
say,
Mm-hmm.
already.
Mm-hmm.
But this established the salaries and kind of some guidelines as to what they could do. But one
Mm-hmm.
thing about these judges, they don't have as much power as they were trying to give them initially, because
Mm-hmm.
initially they were trying to give them chancery and circuit court power. And so
Ooh.
right now they don't have as much power, as they would have had.
Yes.
But all judges, and I will stand firm on that all judges need to be elected according to the Mississippi Constitution.
I wish we had a recall, where they could, if we felt like they were not just judges, but any elected official.
Yeah,
You're not doing what you're supposed to do. Let's get them out. Let's vote. Put it to a vote, and get this
and
thing done the proper way. But
and not wait 4
that's
years, not wait 4 years.
right.
Even the states that do have recalls, when you have a recall, it's not an easy process. So you
Hmm.
have to get more than a majority of the votes. You have to get sometimes 2/3 of the number that you won with. So people have to
Hmm.
overwhelmingly come out to a recall. But I think that people should have their right, because when people get an office, they know, well, I'm here for the next 4 years. I can do whatever I want to do, and
Hmm.
it's a problem. It's not no accountability.
Yeah. And the thing about it, and I want to talk, we're going to shift gears after we talk about this here, this off of Trace Billman's Facebook page. We got House Bill 2886. Can you
I'm
read that and tell
smiling
us?
big on that one.
I know, right? I know.
House Bill 2886, it established a domestic violence fatality review team through the Mississippi Department of Public Safety. I'm smiling because I actually authored this bill. So this is one of my
Hmm.
bills. Now,
Hmm.
what happened is 2886 did not pass. There was a companion bill in the Senate. I don't have the number, which was the same
Okay.
thing, but we got the Senate bill passed, signed into law. But what this does is, we've been hearing a lot about domestic violence deaths here in Mississippi here lately.
Hmm.
This establishes a team of individuals from therapists, just the DA's office, DPS, coroners. It establishes a team of experts and social workers to come
Hmm.
in whenever there's a fatality related to a suspected
Hmm.
domestic violence incident. They come in and they review and they investigate to figure out what we need to do. Like, do we need more community resources, more training with the police department, more funding here or there? And they make
Hmm.
recommendations to us at the end of each year. So what
Hmm.
this is doing is this is opening up the door to let us know what it is we need to do, so we will know how to properly legislate. Because we can't go in there and say,
Hmm.
well, I need $500,000 for such and such with domestic violence without a track record. So this is meant to make sure that we are giving the families the closure that they need, as well as figure
Yes.
out ways that we're stopping domestic violence, because domestic violence is a hard thing to pick up on.
Hmm.
It's
It
very
is.
hard.
And then then that's when we hear from the Clay Edwards,
Yes.
uh platform. Uh
Yes.
she should have left, and What he hit it for? He's just a jerk. Just walk off. Now you did effed around and found out because now you're going to prison. Like it should be some type of more research done, more study done towards how to uh, find the red flags, if you will. What are we need to establish some things. And I'm not just saying if she was hit or if he, because domestic violence goes both ways, right? And you have some men who are afraid to, admit it because they don't want to be laughed at or looked at because that means they're weak or, and it could be it could be same sex, right? And so we need to talk about these are conversations that need to be had. My mentor retired from Miami-Dade area as a police chief, and he now has an investigation company called Mid Delta Investigations. And he would tell me, he calls me Ann. He says, Ann, when you have the same sex, when they get to the point where they feel like it's over, they will bludgeon their lover. And it goes to such an extreme that they feel like they're alone generally. And he was policing way back in the day. So his stuff could be outdated, but I found it to be somewhat true. Right. And he says they feel like nobody's gonna love them anymore. And how can they move on? Things of that magnitude. And we really need to look deeper into it, because what I'm finding, Fabian, is this: you got young people out there and even some older ones who, but especially the younger ones, right? They're trying it on and they taking it off. Well, today I'm one, tomorrow I'm not, and it's kiki haha, but everybody is not feeling like it. Try it on and take it off. Some people are more serious, and we don't want to play with people's hearts, right?
That's it. I got 2 points on that I want to make. The first one is I want to talk about something that we have happening here in Jackson. And so
Mm-hmm.
when we talk about domestic violence,
Mm-hmm.
it's not always a person is not always charged initially with a felony crime. There's some
Mm-hmm.
incidences where it could be battery, or it could be a misdemeanor. Well, what
Mm-hmm.
happens here in the city of Jackson, unfortunately, due to overcrowding of jails,
Mm-hmm.
misdemeanor offenses, you come in, book you, and you go back home. Well,
Release. Mm-hmm.
yes. And so even if you have committed a domestic violence crime and it's a
Mm-hmm.
misdemeanor, that perpetrator gets to go back home. And when he goes back home, he or
Mm-hmm.
she goes back home, they go back and they hunt that person down. And so
Mm.
that's a loophole. We got to figure out a way where if it's domestic violence, it needs to be some accountability. Because they talk of, we talk about what is it, peace bonds and all of that. When you're dealing with
Mm-hmm.
somebody, something going on up there, they don't care about that paper.
Mm-hmm.
They will
That's
go and
right.
they will kill that person and kill themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to
That's
figure out,
right.
and so that's what this legislation is aimed at doing. The second thing I wanted to say is, you were talking about we have older people. I
Mm-hmm.
started talking about domestic violence last year before we introduced this legislation. And,
Mm-hmm.
I had a lady that reached out to me and
Mm-hmm.
she told me, she said, I follow you. I see everything that you're saying. You talk so much about
Mm-hmm.
domestic violence. I have
Mm-hmm.
been in a bad relationship for over 40 years. And just
Wow.
listening to you talk about it, that helped me walk away.
Wow.
She said,
Because we must educate them. Don't tell them
yes,
they're stupid, because if you tune in to Clay Edwards, you're gonna get called stupid for staying. But what we want to do is we want to educate them and let them know, hey, it's all right.
It's
It's
psycho it's
okay.
psycho it's psychological warfare.
It
Domestic
is.
violence doesn't always have to be physical. You can have a person
Yeah.
that can verbally abuse you, and that's so bad because with physical abuse, you can see that. When you have a person that's playing with
Yes.
you mentally, you don't know, you gaslighting you, you don't really
Yes.
understand it. So I think putting that word out there and she been able to realize I'm not alone. I'm not crazy.
Yes.
I'm not stupid.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
these people, they know how to get in your head and fool you.
Yes. And have you thinking it's you.
Yeah.
You are the problem. Gaslighting, as you said, and a word that has become popular over the years is narcissist. But
Yeah.
everybody is not a narcissist. Contrary to popular belief. And we are by no means trying to diagnose anybody on the show.
Mhm.
Okay, but we do know that there are indicators that should go off and things like that. And you have people who will suffer in silence because there's nothing to point them in that direction. And I'm telling you, when you take us with you, we enjoy every minute of it. Now, one day you had on some jogging pants and a polo shirt, and I was like, "Are you
You got me.
are
It
you
must
wearing
be.
jogging? Hold on, I like what you're saying, but are you up there wearing a polo shirt and some joggers, man? What are you wearing?
The camera was adjusted, but I'm gonna let you know right now. I got a polo shirt and some shorts on, but you can't see. I'm, I look. I got to be comfortable.
I know, right? And listen, it is one day, my baby, I had my 6-year-old, he was dressed like that. I was like, oh my God, you know what? We got to send a shout out to Representative Fabian Nelson, let him know you were dressed like him.
that's that's it. Gotta be comfortable. But I enjoy having y'all, with me.
Taking us
Um,
with you, yeah.
my thing is when we talk about the legislature, we talk about representatives, we talk about senators, and people think that, oh, their job is not important. Oh, they don't do anything. They just go sit up there. But every single decision that affects your lives comes from the state capitol. The budget.
Hmm.
We just passed a $7.6 billion budget to fund all of
Y'all
the
had
state
to go
agencies.
back. Y'all
We
had to
had to
go
go
back for the
have to
budget,
go
right?
back and pass the budget in a
Yeah,
special session. When we talk
right.
about laws that are affecting you, we're the ones that make those decisions. And so we need to make sure that, and that's my job to educate. That's why I tell it. I tell everything. And a lot of my colleagues say, Nelson, please stay off of that ride with rep because my constituents calling me, want me to do it. So, well, come on, do it. You need to do it. I mean, and,
I'm
and you,
telling you, I called Otis. I was like,
yeah,
Otis, what you doing? Hey, we need you to get in the car. And that's not even his personality. But I'm
yeah,
like, hey, Fabian Nelson is he's educating us, man. Well, hey, what are you doing? And as a journalist, I need to know what's happening throughout the state, period.
yeah.
But yeah, you getting them in trouble, man. Good trouble.
And it's not, it's nothing fancy. I don't come and read from a book. I say, look, y'all, this is what we got going on the Capitol Day. You need to
Yes.
know. That's what we got to do.
Yes.
We got to start back building those relationships with our constituent base.
Um, Fabian, you got Zach Service says nothing wrong with wearing a polo shirt and some joggers.
And
But
that's my guy.
this
He know how it is.
I know, right? I love Zach. Listen, we got SB 2210 updates the calendar for fireworks sales across the state. Why is this important?
And so, and so what we did is, and I did not know this before going to the legislature. I always wondered when we have the tents that pop up, it's like they pop up close to the holidays, and then the day after they
Uh-huh.
close and up shop. The
Uh-huh.
reason they're doing that is because the law dictates when they can and can't sell fireworks. So
Oh,
what we
okay.
did is we extended to give them a few extra days.
Mm-hmm.
With selling fireworks, and with no penalties. Some states, like Florida, they can sell them year round in Florida, and so we
Oh,
gave them a
wow.
few days.
We got a comment here from Monica Luster Smith. You want to read her comment?
I do. We appreciate everything you do, Fabian Nelson. Since you've been in, I've become more interested in your job and what you do and how. Thank you so much, Miss Smith. That's one of my favorite constituents. She fed me, y'all. You probably saw the
Ah,
picture on Facebook. That was the cook. So y'all want some good food? Y'all come on down here to Miss Smith. She'll take care of you. But
whoop,
um,
whoop, there it is. We shouting you out, Miss Smith. Keep up the
that's
good
it.
work, man. Keep
That's it.
our representative fed, honey, and he continues to feed us. Okay.
I slept for 2 days
I
after
have.
that food. It was so good.
It was good.
I slept for 2 days.
See, you better be glad you're not married, because Fabian, my husband is not allowed to eat any woman's cooking. Okay. He's like, baby, ain't nobody fed me. I promise you. Ain't nobody's cooking. you know. But you say Miss
That's a,
Smith's food is good. Like if we check her out, we would have to do it as a husband wife.
Y'all come on down here. We'll get it done. We'll get it done.
Listen, listen, I am about to put something up on the screen, and we are getting ready to talk about something that is pressing. Now, this is election year for my hometown, and something came across my desk, and I said, I have to make a call because I need some clarity. And so I want to put this on the screen, and I'm going to ask that you bring some clarity to what it is that we're looking at. And it says, Dear Mayor Featherstone, on July 8th, 2025, the Office of the State Auditor notified me that it had issued a certificate of noncompliance to the city clerk of the city of Indianola, Mississippi, pursuant to Mississippi Code Annotated Section 213531. The Mississippi Department of Revenue is to withhold all allocations and payments that would otherwise be payable to your municipality and divert them to the state auditor to cover the cost of preparing the required audit. According to the state auditor, the amount of payment to be withheld is $675,000. Let's unpack that first part, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to leave it up there for a second.
So this right here, this is a letter of non-compliance that has been issued from the Mississippi Department of Revenue. I'm assuming, DOR. What happens is all of our municipalities in the state of Mississippi are required to audit the books each year. And this is to maintain transparency. With a taxpayer, when you're paying your tax dollars, you want to make sure that your tax dollars are being used for the purposes that are intended. So it looks like that what's happened is this municipality has not completed audits. I'm not sure what year. I'm guessing for 2024, possibly could be more years than that. But when that happens, when they don't submit audit reports to the Department of Revenue, the state auditor notifies the Department of Revenue to withhold their tax funds. And so we talk about what they will be withholding. They're going to be withholding sales tax, use tax, petroleum tax, and also homestead reimbursement. And so whenever people get homestead exemption, and because it's your primary home, the state reimburses the municipalities and the counties for that. So what's going to happen is all of those tax dollars will be diverted back and held until those audits are completed. I remember this came up in 2000, and it was either 24, 25. I want to say 2024. Representative Shonda Yates authored a bill, just kind of trying to buckle down a little bit more, make a few more changes to that. And it got a little bit of pushback. We did pass it out of the House, but it died in the Senate. And I'm going to tell you my thoughts on this is I support this. For a municipality the size of Indianola to lose $675,000 in 1 month, that is detrimental to the budget of the city of Indianola. It's not fair to the taxpayers for that to happen. However, if you have elected officials that are not conducting audits and doing what they're supposed to do to provide transparency, then this is what should happen. Because when you pay your taxes, you're paying for city services, and you need to make sure that what really is happening with your tax dollars.
Now, that section, I'm sorry, go on. What were you saying?
You go.
That section, that what is it? Mississippi Code Annotated, section 213531. What does that say in particular?
Okay, this
It's just
is
letting us know.
this is it. So we have you can see that I read a lot. This is our annotated code of 1972. So this is Title 21. This is ultimately we have like 3 books. These are all of our any laws that are relating to taxes, come through this code. Ultimately, what this says is pretty much it's about a 3-page code section, but all it
Hmm.
says is it basically says that
They
municipalities
have a
have
right.
to,
They
that
have a
they
right to do what they're doing. Uh-huh.
no, they do not.
I'm
So
saying
this
the code. Go on.
Oh
Explain.
no, it's saying that the state has a right to withhold their sextile diversion. But what this
Mm-hmm.
says is this says that municipalities have to conduct annual audits each year.
Mm-hmm.
And if they do not, the state auditor's office, what's going to happen is it's going to notify the Department of Revenue and the Attorney General and give you 30 days to produce an audit. If your
Oh
audit
wow.
is not produced within 30 days, the state auditor's office is going to call the Department of Revenue and let them
Mm-hmm.
know to not send any tax diversions to this municipality. That
Wow.
money, you keep that money. We're going to find an auditor to go in and audit the books, and we will
Wow.
take some of that money and pay that auditor. And once the audit is sent to us and is satisfied, we will release the certificate of non-compliance and start back giving the municipality the tax dollars that they've been withholding.
Oh wow. Zach Service says good because Jackson is 2 years behind. And see,
Oh,
I now when I spoke with the mayor, brand new mayor, um, it was in the local paper, and he told me, "Hey, um we have a forensic audit being done." But from what I gather, it was never completed. So is it possible to start something and not finish it, Fabian?
what we see a lot is we see a lot of politicians when they go in office. I've heard this so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm guess is this mayor, is he newly, is this his first term in office? I'm assuming.
Yes. Yes.
So what they'll say is, "Oh, we're going to do a, um,
Forensic audit.
a forensic audit."
It sounds
And
good.
yeah, it sounds good and it resonates
Mm-hmm.
with taxpayers. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you, every single one that I've heard say this, I have not seen one of them produce a forensic audit.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, state statute does not say it has to be a forensic audit. State statute says that it
Mm-hmm.
has to be an audit performed by someone that's approved through the state of Mississippi as so a CPA. What's the population of Indianola roughly?
Oh, that's a good question. Maybe 15
1,500?
thousand.
Oh,
50.
1,000?
Well, I'm thinking about the county. I'm thinking
Oh,
about the county.
so
I
so
I
so
don't
if
know.
the population of the city of Indianola is less than 3,000, they don't even have to get an auditor to come in. They can get a person that's trained, that's approved by the state auditor's office to get it done. And so when we talk about audits, and that was the argument that came up in committee, was we don't
Mm-hmm.
want, we have a lot of small municipalities and they can't afford an audit. They don't know a person that can do an audit. I said, that's not an excuse because we have MML,
Yes.
the Municipal League, which will get you on track to get what you need done. We have to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that we are maintaining transparency with our taxpayers at the end of the
Oh
day.
wow.
Trust but
Listen.
verify.
Well, I'm told that we have a city clerk who has been on for about 3 months, but was being paid as a consultant $6,000 a month. But you're saying some of these places can't afford to get an auditor in there. Okay, I'm told that the population in Indianola is roughly, thank you, verified, confirmed by a reliable source, of roughly 9,000 people. So give or take, we should be able to afford it. But what I'm told now, this city clerk, I don't know the city clerk, right? But sounds like the city clerk has made out like a one-armed bandit and now has been voted to come on. And this letter came out today, and still nothing that I've seen making this announcement saying, hey, they're taking a chunk of revenue from the city of Indianola. And so it begs the question, who is this clerk? And why would you need $6,000 a month to do this? Now I know, now I'm not good at numbers, right?
Mhm.
Um, but that's, I don't know, Fabian, $6,000 a month for about a year. How much does that come out to be? Can you do some? You got your
Seven-
calculator?
$72,000.
Okay.
I love
And
numbers.
that's just as a consultant.
Plus a salary, getting another, receiving another salary.
Now you've been brought on for salary, and I'm told this clerk makes more than any clerk in the state of Mississippi, $120,000 a year.
Yeah, that
No other clerk is making that kind of money. Now, if I'm wrong, let me know. But I'm told that this clerk makes more money than any clerk across the state, right there in Indianola, and we're having to pay back $675,000. Let me put that letter back up there, Fabian.
yes, 675. I'm just assuming on the high end, a
Hmm.
city the size of Indianola, they'll probably be looking at, and this is like I said, on the high end, maybe $15,000 to $20,000 to get an audit completed.
Hold on. How much?
15 to 20,000.
So
And
this for
that's that's on the absolute high end. It'd be
on the
15 to
high.
20,000.
Hold on, because this talk about a forensic audit that was never completed, from what I gather, and I need to get the minutes to see who voted not to move forward, with ending that process. But 6,000, that $6,000 could have gone to.
And they
Leave
could
me
pay for four
alone.
years. You talk about 76,000, 24 to 60. It's been 4 years roughly to pay for an audit. But if you have, and I'm going to tell you, one of the municipalities I represent, which is Terry, Mississippi, what
Uh-huh.
they found out is they found that it'd be more beneficial to them to not wait until the end of the year to do an audit, to hire a CPA. So
Uh-huh.
Terry, Mississippi, which population Terry, Mississippi is about 1,500 people in the city
Okay.
limits. They
Mm-hmm.
have a CPA that reconciles, manages everything monthly or weekly whenever she comes in. So when it comes
Uh-huh.
time for the audit, they're not shucking out a big amount of money because she knows the books. You
And
know,
familiar
yeah.
with. And
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 for
you So let me ask you: is Terry paying out $6,000 per month to this CPA?
absolutely not. No, not at all. Not at all. And so,
Listen, it's
and
a.
and we and we talk about government, some things you can't afford to skimp on. And if we talk about
Mhm.
$20,000, I mean, yes, you got to pay a year. That's what ensures your funding comes in, your tax dollar, your tax diversions come in. That's mandatory that's done. And I don't think that the citizens of Indianola will have any problem, or citizens of anywhere will have any
Yeah.
problem with paying for an audit when I can take a piece of paper and show you this is where your tax dollars are going. Your tax dollars are safe. We're good stewards of your money.
Yes. Yes. And here it is, 10 o'clock. The news is on here. Now, if they're talking about this letter that came from the Department of Revenue, I don't know, because I don't watch the local news, but I checked our local paper. I didn't see any talks of it on social media. Not to say that they didn't put it on their website, but I didn't see anything on social media before we came on this evening. We have Curtis Williams says, hire some city auditors, please. You just paid $29 million to some lawyers for the meter issues. That's a lot of years of salaries.
I agree. I agree.
Curtis, I don't know you and I'm not good at math, but you sound like you're on to something, brother.
Uh-huh. That to $29 million. I mean, yeah, city auditors. I mean, you can easily, for a city the size of Indianola, very, very easy.
Let me ask
Yeah.
you something. And we hear it a lot. Vote black. Vote somebody because they're black. Well, you got who you wanted. And we're finding out information that we have yet to hear. The only thing when I went to the mayor's page was happy anniversary or something. Nothing about, hey, taxpayers, listen, taxpayers, this is what happened. On July the 8th, we got some information. Our clerk got this information. And on today, which is the 16th, we got this information. And let me show you. It wasn't just to the mayor. Let me take this comment down. It was CC'd to the aldermen as well.
Oh my
And
goodness. I'm
and, and,
looking
and
at
you
the
can't. You can't see it, but I am going to bring it in closer so people can see who was actually CC'd, and the city clerk was one of them. So you not only got one email, but you got another. Talk about how notifications come out from like Department of Revenue, things
It,
like that.
it will, we're in a digital age now. So with state agencies, they'll email you this notice, and they're going to probably send a hard copy as well. And so
Mm-hmm.
they're going to make sure that you're notified. You cannot say that I didn't know or we didn't know about this. They have to do that because
Mm-hmm.
they withhold $675,000 next month from Indianola. They want to make sure that
Oh,
their bases are covered. Um,
oh
now
my
this,
goodness.
and I'm going to tell you this. This is very
Mm-hmm.
important.
Mm-hmm.
We have to make sure that we are putting the information out there as it is, because I don't want it to come out next month. Well, the state of Mississippi is holding our tax diversion.
Tate Reeves, that
Yep,
white man.
that's it. We
Tater,
gotta, we gotta.
later Tater, taking our money. That's not the case.
That's it. You've been
And
notified by state statute. State statute says you have to be notified within 30 days. Now it's time for them to be getting this done. And it's no reason that the citizens should not have been informed as to what is going on, in municipal government. If that was one of my
my goodness.
municipalities and they had CC me on an email, it was going to go out to my people. I want them to know what is going on, because this is a major issue for any
Oh,
city.
why is it major? Why is it major? I wish we had Zach Service in here too. Why is
Yeah,
it major?
we're talking about $675,000 coming out. That's over $500,000. Cities, that's how cities make their money off of tax dollars.
Revenue. Mm-hmm.
When the city is the municipalities, that's the business that they're in. I mean, they tax
Mm-hmm.
people to get the services that they need. At $675,000 will be detrimental to the city of Indianola.
Mm-hmm.
This should have everybody's attention. They should have somebody in there working on that audit tomorrow to get this stuff done.
Listen, they should be there tonight
You
getting it
got one.
done.
They should be there getting it done. And if you're
Oh
running,
my goodness.
a municipality, this is not like you filing your taxes, an individual filing their taxes at the end of the year. When you're running a
Mm-hmm.
municipality, you have all of the records right there that you need. You're supposed to
Mm.
have clear and
Supposed to.
accurate records. And so it should be seamlessly able to be done.
But hold on. Zach Service says, wait till I share information received about the CFO of Jackson. The corruption is insane. He also goes to say these cities don't want regular accountability, and that's the problem. Now, I want to show my viewers the people who know about this letter. We want, hold on. We want to show you who knows about this letter. This is looks like Leah Barber, Jeff Goodwin. These are both from the Office of the State Auditor,
And
which I
okay,
like to say Shad White. Mm-hmm.
put that back up there. I want to point something out to you real quick. And
Mm-hmm.
put the last one back up with the people that were notified.
Okay.
Okay, let's look down here at the board members. The
Yes.
board members, if you notice, they have their city email as well as their personal emails on the right side. And they've done that so that your board members can say, well, I don't check my city email.
Fabian,
Yes.
you listen, you are on the money. I never paid attention to that. And
They
and listen,
uh
not only did they send it to the clerk on the 8th of this month, they CC'd her again today.
yeah,
Hold on, let me put that
absolutely.
back up. That notification is serious.
And the state is doing proper due diligence, because as I said earlier, if the audits are not done and that money is withheld, you're going to have your leader saying the state took our money without notifying us. They're going to try to
Mm,
sue the state. So the state is just saying, we're making sure that we're giving you proper notice as to what is going on up here. And so I'm hoping and praying that they get it together, because State isn't playing. They will withhold that $675,000. And not only that, the next month they will withhold whatever the revenue is going to be coming in the next month until these audits are completed.
Hold on. So you're telling me, make me understand, just because it says 675,000 on for August, that's not everything they owe?
So,
That's
well,
not the
what
bottom line? That's not every.
Yes, yeah. So what's going to happen is they're going to withhold August. If the audit's undone, they're going to withhold September. They're going to withhold October. Now what's going to happen once the audits are done? This money will be released, and so
Uh-huh.
they're just holding it in abeyance until the audits are completed. But they are going to hold them until the audits are done because that's the state's way of saying, well, you got to wake up. We got to get your attention.
But Fabian, don't you know that had we been doing the audit every year, this wouldn't have to happen?
It would
We got
not.
we got we got a new mayor. We're voting on things all the time. Now, what happened the other day was this. You probably don't know. Talked about it on the morning show this morning on the radio. We had three aldermen. We had three aldermen who did not show up for our last city board meeting. They didn't show up at all. And that to me uh, is like a red flag. Like, why are you not showing up?
How many members on your board of aldermen up there in Indianola?
Let me see. We got, I think, one, two, three, four, five. Gary Fratese, Daryl Simpson, Reuben Woods, Marvin Elder, and Sam Brock. Three
So
of which,
so
listen,
guess what?
three of which, what?
If
No
three don't
quorum.
show up, no quorum. You can't vote on anything. You can't conduct
That
this.
is so heartbreaking.
You can't conduct the business of the people. You can only have an informational purposes only meeting if there is no quorum established. And if you're telling me three out of five didn't show up, that's not a quorum.
And it's a disservice to the people they serve or lack
Absolutely.
thereof.
Absolutely.
Jesus Christ.
And
They they just
unfortunately,
they just
mm,
did not show up.
unfortunately, it's nothing that can be done to them for not showing up. The only thing that can be done is when election time come up to go and pick another person. But as far as sanctioning them, finding them, to putting them out, is nothing can be done. There's no policy that says your elected officials have to show up every single time, an attendance policy.
Well, maybe our lawmakers like Fabian Nelson can get with people who could possibly revisit that.
I would love it. I would love
Mhm.
it. I would
Because
love
to
it.
not show up and vote for, oh my goodness, I could have cried. I could have cried. And three of these aldermen now, keep in mind, Shad White dropped down on, and Lynn Finch doubled down and backed Shad White on this, saying, hey, you're going to have to pay this money back. And they were advised by then attorney Kim Merchant, who's no longer there. They voted to get rid of her. Um, and they replaced her with someone and then replaced that person. And these three aldermen are like working together. And again, this is election year. And elections are coming up, I'm told, in October. We cannot run our city like this. And by October, we'll be running it in the ground if that non-compliance letter is not satisfied. Let me ask you something.
Mhm.
On a day-to-day basis, what is happening? Am I going to pump my gas and that tax is not going to my city? How does that go?
All right. So what happens is with gasoline tax, because this talks about petroleum tax. So that tax
Mm-hmm,
is a diversion. It comes back to the city. Now the city doesn't get all of that. I know
mm-hmm,
on sales tax, for instance, cities get an
mm-hmm,
18.5% diversion. And so if you
mm-hmm,
pay, if your tax is $7, 18.5% of that will come back directly to the municipality. And so
mm-hmm.
what will happen with this is the city will not get 1 cent of that until these audits are completed and that notice of non-compliance is lifted.
So as of right now, Indianola, we're putting you on notice that The state of Mississippi is not taking your money. So if you see something that says, hey, they're taking our money, that's not true. This is what we're hearing from Representative Fabian Nelson on this evening. So don't allow somebody to use propaganda to get you emotional and feeling like something is happening because Tate Reeves did something, okay,
Yep.
or white people in Jackson
Yep.
have done something wrong,
We
right?
gotta.
I,
We have to. We have to stop that narrative.
yeah.
Mhm.
And speaking of Jackson, I want to show you my favorite picture for 2025, and it comes out of the Jackson Advocate, a newspaper. I said, look at all this greatness in one picture. Our new mayor, John Horn, and Governor Tate Reeves. For so long, we were not able to get our mayor of Jackson on the same page with the governor of the
Look,
state of Mississippi. And
I
what were you
want to
about to
call
say?
one more. Go back. I want to call another one. Now, that's my buddy, Councilman
Where?
Kenneth I. Stokes, on the other side
Stokes.
of the
I
border.
couldn't make out who that was. Oh, that's Kenneth Stokes. Oh my goodness.
That's my guy. Greatness in
Oh,
that picture.
hog head bastard.
That's what he don't mind
he,
saying it.
he ain't nothing but old lying hog head bastard. He was Eric Mays before Eric Mays was,
I
Eric
think
Mays.
Eric Mays learned from him, I believe. But yes, so yeah, that's. But like I said, that was greatness. I was very,
Yes.
I was at the inauguration, and when I looked up on the stage and I saw Governor Reeves, Lieutenant Governor Holzman, even Commissioner Tyndale, our DPS
Oh,
commissioner.
what? Sean
Yeah, when
Kendall was there too?
he was there,
Oh man.
and when I saw that, it made me feel good because we have to have unity in government. It's not
Mm-hmm.
all about, oh, you're a Republican and I just can't speak to you because you're a
Yeah.
Republican. What we
Yeah.
have to realize is that the people here in the state of Mississippi overwhelmingly went and elected Tate Reeves as our governor. And
That's
we
right.
have to respect that and we have to work with him because that's his job that he was duly elected to do. And when we put
Mm-hmm.
these roadblocks, I'm not going to work with him. That's why our city looks the way that it looks right now. That's why our city
Mm-hmm.
is not able to get the funding that we need from the state. So we can't get in that. Now, if you don't like the policies of the governor, then what do you need to do? We need to go out and get people empowered to go out and vote.
Mm-hmm.
We have another chance.
Yes.
You have 4 years, and you
Yes.
don't like the governor, you go out and you get the community engaged and give the people a candidate that's worth voting for that will get the change that you need to have made.
Listen, now one thing that I noticed when commercials were going out and things like that, Congressman Thompson, he made this statement that stayed with me. He said there were too many missed opportunities. And he said, you cannot say you're not going to apply for assistance because you perceive that the governor is going to do this, that, and the third. Too many missed opportunities, right? And everybody probably don't agree with Benny Thompson, but he was right in my opinion when he said we had too many missed opportunities. And again, to have all of that greatness, I'm so glad you told me that was Stokes there.
Yep, that's him. That's my guy. And so we really, more of us need to be applauding that and recognizing that because I'm going to tell you, that's something that does not only in Mississippi, you don't find too many governors going to swearing in ceremonies for mayors of
You
municipalities.
don't. You
You,
don't.
you don't see that happening. And so that is something to be commended because the
It
city of
warmed my
Jackson needs
heart.
the state and the state needs the city of Jackson. So
That's
I'm
right.
I'm optimistic in the state, us rebuilding that relationship because at the end of the day, I'm here to serve my constituents, my
Yes.
constituents and my state. I don't care if you're red, blue, yellow, green, white, Republican, Democrat, Independent. I'm here to work with whatever is going to better the lives of all Mississippians.
Yes, and that's the only way we can stay on our capital P's and Q's because how are you going to be able to tell people that you represent all of your districts, right? Whether they voted for you or not, you still have to stay professional, right? And not and not get so emotional, right? And we're human. We
Mhm.
are. But when we start not showing up for our people because we're upset about something, I don't know why they didn't show. Probably was sick all at the same time. I don't know. But this day and age, Fabian, we have virtual assist. We got virtual ways to access a meeting. Right? COVID showed us that.
It's no excuse.
No excuse. No
It's no,
excuse.
and,
No
and you know,
excuse.
before before becoming a member of the legislature,
Hmm.
um, I commonly question things that were happening. Why is funding not coming here? I
Yeah.
listen to the rhetoric. Oh, it's not coming. They're suppressing us, and they're doing this and that.
Hmm.
But as I'm here sitting at the table, I see so many missed opportunities. You know,
Yes.
our use tax, which goes towards our state roads and state bridges here in Hinds
Hmm.
County, we
Hmm.
didn't use all of the money that was allocated. We had about $1.5 million that went back to the state of Mississippi because it wasn't used. And so we
Hmm.
got to start calling things out for, what they are.
Hmm.
And it could be true that certain communities are, are not favored and they're not
Hmm.
getting. But what we got to do is in those communities, we got to make sure that our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed so that there can be
That's
no
right.
excuse for giving the funding to those areas. Because if you give a person a reason to withhold something, they can take it and justify it. But if
That's right.
everything's in order and you say, look, our books are in order, this is in order, why are you not giving us the funds we need, which can lead to a
Hmm.
federal lawsuit, getting the Department of Justice involved? So we got to
Hmm.
make sure that we're cleaning up government all across our state.
Listen, Congressman Thompson, you when you said we missed some opportunities, it stays with me. Congressman Thompson spoke here in Greenville, and the black mayors or something got together at the branch of the community college, Mississippi Delta Community College, and he made the statement openly that there were municipalities who books were not kept. So they have to send the money directly to the county. The county has to allocate the funds. And one city he named was Indianola. Indianola, he said we had to send their money to the county. This is not something I'm making up. I'm sitting in the room with mayors from all over the state. And my congressman says, hey, the money is there. We had to send it to Sunflower County and not Indianola. So that means somebody is going to have to petition and ask the county, hey, can you please give us some money? Now, can you imagine going to beg the county for some of this money that Congressman Thompson was talking about, all because now there was a letter of non-compliance?
Yep,
Wait
that's
a
it.
minute. Why you begging? Why you begging?
And those are
You
receipts right
begging.
there. The county, the
That's
board of supervisors say, the board of supervisors said, we're not giving you any money because you won't get your books online. Here's proof of it. They can justify
uh-huh.
it. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So those are things that we have to consider. We have to make sure that we're conducting business, the business of the people. And there's no reason for our audits to not be completed. And that's not only attacking Indianola, because we got problems here. We're in city of
It's
Jackson.
everywhere.
We got city of
It's
Jackson
everywhere.
audits are behind, Hinds County audits are behind. And so I'm not just every single person, you owe that to your citizens to make sure that you're remaining accountable and doing, you know, and transparent.
Listen, let's see. Trace Billman's page. Let me see here what we got. House Bill 1338. Impersonating a police officer is now a felony offense in Mississippi. But why?
This right here that was already law, but it was some cleanup language that they went in there and kind of updated a few things about it. But that
Okay.
was already law. A lot of things you'll see they come back and we have to go and amend code sections and things. So that's all that happened with 1338.
Okay. All right. So House Bill 1637 says requires restitution to landowners if someone is convicted of trespassing to hunt or fish and illegally harvesting game or fish. Is that something that was updated as well, or are they saying you cannot just uh, post up on somebody's land in your tent or your little whatever you use on the tree and go and harvest a deer because you thought it was some great land?
Yeah, so what this does, it was already illegal to go and fish on somebody's land or hunt on it, but now this
Mm.
allows landowner to get restitution if you
Gotcha.
are. So it was a criminal offense. So now this kind of puts a civil piece to it, so that
Mm-hmm.
you can get paid for what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. We have hold on, we got a comment here. Mr. Williams says, speaking of missed opportunity, what's up with Lake uh
Like
Hico?
Hico,
What's Hico being
Lake,
drained during COVID lockdown? What is that?
Lake Hico is over here in Jackson, in North Jackson,
Okay.
off of Watkins Road.
Mm-hmm.
Energy used to have a power facility
Access.
over there.
Uh-huh.
And so Lake Hico was the cooling to cool all of that stuff. And so
Uh-huh.
with the nuclear plants, Energy was able to close down this facility. And what they did is they drained Lake Hico when they closed it down because there wasn't a need for it. But he's right,
Mm-hmm.
there was a missed opportunity. They were having meetings saying what they were going to do, plans and things that they were trying to put out there, but nothing ever manifested. And so it's just land over there.
Mm.
But
Um,
that would have been a good opportunity.
Now he also says it's easier to steal from a lump sum of millions than 675,000. No audit until after the election. Everyone is happy and not looking. Wow.
That's a good point there.
Oh wow. Now, I'm told that there was not, the last audit was in 2018. I don't know how true that is, but it came from a reliable source. And if you're saying you had a forensic audit done, but you didn't complete it, it sounds good. It
Mhm.
sounds good. But to not complete it, you know, so we actually had an audit in progress. So I
Mhm.
don't want to hear about 2018. We had a forensic audit in progress and it was never completed. So that was about 4 years ago. So
And I'm going to tell you, just in knowing how government works, knowing these agencies,
mm-hmm,
you and I may be wrong, and if I'm wrong, please correct me when you find out. But
mm-hmm.
you cannot tell me that Indianola received this letter of non-compliance because they were only late for 1 year of
Come
their
on.
audit.
Right.
Now, let's say if it comes out later, please, I will apologize. Say I was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm getting at is there has to be a pattern. There's something there because we have a lot of municipalities here that are behind on audits, maybe 2, 3 years. But if you're looking at Indianola, I guarantee you that they're going to be in arrears quite some time. In
Why
order
would you pay a city clerk $6,000 as a consultant every month?
well, they're going to find out. The auditor, state auditor, will
Who
find out.
voted for that? Who voted for that salary? That money?
That's it.
Jesus Christ.
That's it.
And you said Terry, 1,500 maybe people
Uh-huh.
in Terry. CPA takes care of everything. They found out that it's best not to do it at the end of the year or whatever. Have
Uh-huh.
somebody just
Yep.
$6,000 a month. Is she getting that amount of money?
Absolutely not. You got it in QuickBooks CPA. She literally probably can click a button on December 31, click a button, and the audit is ready and send it over to secretary to the state auditor's office. And these are our audited records, financial statements. And if the auditor has a problem, the auditor can come in and visit and say, I need to see this and that receipt. If not, they'll approve it and keep business flowing. So
But
yeah,
to
yeah,
and like Fabian, like you said, I you can't make me believe this is 1 or 2 years because the letter says, "Hey, we sent the clerk now who has been operating as a consultant prior to this. We sent the clerk a letter on the 8th of July, and we doubled down and we sent it to her again as we CC'd everybody else. $6,000. Then you get $120,000 for a year. Where are we getting this money to pay her?
exactly. That's a lot of money.
That's a big chunk of money, man.
That's a few
And
jobs.
I'm not saying. Listen, what did you say?
That's a few salaries. To talk about public works, that's a few salaries. Annual salaries.
in a city like Indianola. Oh my God, Jesus Christ. We
But I
we
think
need to
this,
go.
but the citizens, y'all need to figure out what was she consulting for, who approved it, what was the scope of her practice,
Who
what was she
voted?
doing, who voted on it.
Mm-hmm.
City employee, but if you're a city employee, you can't work for the city and then come back as a consultant as well. That's double dipping.
Well, she was a consultant and came on as from what I'm told, as a city worker. So it's the
Oh,
other way around.
so she wasn't doing both at the same time.
No, no, no. From what I'm
Okay,
told, she served
okay,
in the capacity of a consultant initially, and then they hired her.
okay. That can be okay. That's fine. Okay, so they can
Mhm.
that is within the scope of the law for that to happen.
But where's all this money? Why is she getting all this money?
Y'all asking the right questions. Y'all need to figure it out because it's something that y'all need to look into, I think.
I do believe we got Senate Bill um 2200 adds a criminal fine for anyone convicted of fentanyl delivery resulting in death, in addition to prison time. And if you know anything about Lynn Fitch, she is serious about this fentanyl, this human trafficking, and it's something else, revenge porn. I know she's
Yes.
serious about this stuff.
With this right here, 2200, we need to expound on that a little bit because
Mm-hmm.
what it does is it also gives immunity to a person that reports a fentanyl overdose. So
Gotcha.
just say you and I, we're friends and we're together
Mm-hmm.
and we're doing whatever and it has fentanyl in it and you OD. If I call the police and say my friend is OD'd, they'll come. They won't ask any questions. They won't test me. They won't do anything. They'll let
It
me go.
protects that person
It protects that
because it
person.
needs to be reported. I like that.
Uh-huh.
I
So it
like
does.
that.
It does that. But now, if I'm the dealer and I'm your dealer, and you came and you bought it from me, then I would be charged, and criminal penalties as well as civil penalties can be imposed. So it does two
And,
things.
and what I like about the fact that it gives immunity, you get to count the number and say that it was an overdose, as opposed to saying, let's see what happened. That person can
Yes.
tell you this is exactly what we were doing.
Yeah.
And now we can put that down in the records, and it's counted as part of the statistics for what Lynn Fitch and the rest of them are doing and trying to crack down on.
Because what happens is we've seen this. You have people at a party, they're doing it, and somebody
Hmm.
ODs, and they'll take that person and throw them outside in a ditch because,
Hmm.
and they won't call for help because like, we're not going
Yeah.
to jail. And
Yeah.
so, Mississippi Harm Reduction, they actually posted this bill and they were saying how they're criminalizing and penalizing people. And I called and said, look, y'all need to take that down and
Yeah.
inform your people of what the correct verbiage is so that they will know that if they're in this situation where they have a friend at
Mhm.
OD, they need to call the police because they won't be criminally prosecuted. And so
Good.
ultimately, it was a good bill.
Good. I like that. We got Senate Bill 2208 increases the penalty for making a terroristic threat. Okay, I think we went over that. And it doubled. Give me a second. Let's see what else was on Trace Billman's page. I think we talked about that. Let me see what else. Eight House Bill 20, I'm sorry, 1203 prohibits camping on public property. Did we talk about that? First offense up to $50 fine. I don't think so.
No, we didn't. That's a bill I don't support. I did not like it.
I don't like it either.
Yeah, it is. It basically penalizes a person if it's a homeless
For
person and they don't
being
have a place to
homeless.
go. You're penalizing them. Um,
Yeah.
and the problem I have with it is we have a problem here. We have a shortage of housing for homeless individuals here in Jackson. The thing
Mm-hmm.
is, they have nowhere to go. Now, if I would be on board with this if we had adequate shelter. If we had shelter for
Mm-hmm.
every single homeless person, and we tell them that we
Mm-hmm.
have housing for you, and you cannot be on the street or in a park, I would support it
Mm-hmm.
then. But I cannot support
Mm-hmm.
something when you're taking these people and saying, "Well, you can't stay here, but we don't care where you go." And so I
Mm-hmm.
don't like this. And what we're seeing now is we're seeing a lot of people, they're coming to parking lots of our stores here because, it says, that just talks about like public spaces and parks and things,
Yeah.
and they have nowhere else to go. So that needed a little bit more thought
Yeah.
for this pass.
Because
We
it
have,
seems like they're gonna be considered criminals, right?
yes,
You pick up some type of criminal background with this.
yes, I
And
don't.
Senate Bill 2328 clarifies tenant eviction notices and allows RV park owners to remove individuals for specific reasons with defined legal process. What does that mean?
Okay, this is 23 clarifies tenant eviction notices and allows RV park owners to remove individuals for specific reasons with a defined legal process. So RV parks, they're a little bit, since it's a moving structure, they're a little bit different as
Mm-hmm.
a brick and mortar home. And so
Mm-hmm.
what we were seeing is our tenants didn't have adequate rights, as well as property owners of the parks didn't have
Gotcha.
rights. So we went in
Mm-hmm.
and kind of established a bill of rights to kind of outline what can and can't be done to kind of mirror
To
tenancy, but we,
protect.
yeah, to make sure
So
everybody.
gotcha. So that's like built-in protection for those who own an RV and possibly post it up in a certain area maybe, and you
Yeah, in
can't
an
just.
yep, you go in an RV park and you can't say, well, I'm a tenant here. I ain't got to pay you, and you can't make me leave. And so now
Mhm.
this defines how that should look as far as tenancy is established.
Gotcha. Senate Bill 2482 provides free access to Mississippi electronic court records for public defenders and prosecutors handling cases with indigent defendants.
All right. So what this does is we have public defenders. They can access the Mississippi electronic court system for free. Also, we
Mm-hmm.
have another bill that's not on here, but we actually are giving our public defenders a raise. And so I want to say
Oh,
it's about,
wow.
I think it's $6,000 that we're going to be giving our public
That's
defenders.
awesome.
And well, so we saw a need to do that.
That's awesome. Senate Bill 2771 revises permanency. Am I saying it right? Hearing timelines in youth court and allows the state public defender's office to represent juveniles in certain cases.
Yeah, when we
I
talk
guess
about
parents don't have the type of money to keep going getting lawyers and things like that.
Absolutely. And when we talk about permanency, we're talking about kids that may come through CPS custody. And when
Mm-hmm.
we talk about permanency, we're talking about, are we reunifying them with the families? Are we going to
Mm-hmm.
TPR, terminate parental rights, to let them be free for adoption? So what this
Mm-hmm.
does is it revises those timelines to make sure that we can get the kids on through the system in a smoother, transition, so we don't have kids
Transition.
in the
Mm-hmm.
system waiting for TPR for 5 years and the parents are
Mm-hmm.
absent. So it's just to protect our kids and kind of make it a little bit smoother process.
Wait a minute. Don't you have some babies that in your home?
Yes, I do. So yeah, I saw firsthand, being a foster parent, how
Mm-hmm.
kids they don't get what they need. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Currently, if you have a child that's in CPS custody permanency, you're supposed to have a TPR in, I think, about 90 days. And we have some
Mm,
kids where that's not happening. We have kids that have been
mm,
in CPS custody for 2, 3 years and have not been
my God.
TPR. And so it's not
Mm,
to take a person's rights away, but it's about
uh-huh.
doing what's best for the child. Because if we have a child with an absent parent that CPS has to force to have visitation rights with,
Mm-hmm.
you should say this parent is not a serious parent. That's
That's right.
different from a parent that may have a problem and they're trying to get help and they want their kids. Those are the parents you work with. But some of these people, they just don't want the children. And so we're trying to figure out a way where we can determine that and go on so these kids can go on with their lives and hopefully find a loving home to go to.
And speaking of the judicial system, I saw something on your Facebook page that caught my attention. And I don't know if you are comfortable with talking about it. Sanders, I believe, how did you say it? Delister
Oh,
Sanders.
dollars to Sanders. Absolutely.
Yes. Um, there's a judge out of Hinds County who has been given this, I believe, grandmother and mother the blues. And I've asked about this judge, and some people speak so highly of her. Now, with me, I have to be fair because in Rankin County, I talked about Judge Whitney McKay Adams. right? And then over in Hinds County, and Judge Whitney McKay Adams is not black.
Mhm.
Okay, and so we have this judge in Hinds County who I'm about to put on the screen, about to put the picture up, and a lot of people are coming forth saying that she's giving them the blues as well. Now, this is the same judge, if I'm not mistaken, that my colleagues in the Delta, we were, let me get back in here because I got to set this up. I got to set this up. Judge Crystal Wise Martin made national news when she told the Clarksdale paper that they had to remove something, and then she had to back that train up, right? And we were holding on to our seats because that was going to make a change in journalism here in the state of Mississippi had she been able or allowed to move forward with doing what she did. And I'm going to try to find what she did, but I'm going to put her picture back up there. And I want you to please tell us about the heartbreak of what this family is alleging.
This is a it's a rough one, for me. I talk to a lot of people that have issues. They tell me, things that they've been experiencing, things that they've been going through. But for me, the Sanders family, I'm very close to the Sanders family. We've been in each other's lives for probably 2 decades, 20 years. And so I know the family well. I know the situation because I've seen it. I've been in the courtroom and I've seen how court has been conducted. So this is not me just talking about something that a person called in and told me and me taking their word. This is me actually experiencing the situation. What I do want to start by saying is I have the utmost respect for every single elected official. With our judges, I respect every single person. However, when things are not being done according to how they should be done, we have to start speaking up and talking about them. Just a little bit of a background without going, because this story goes back a long time. My friend's daughter has not seen her son in almost 3 years. And Judge Martin in the courtroom, um, she removed this young lady's son and gave this son back to the child's father.
Mm,
It's a no contact order put in place, and so this young lady cannot even have a Skype conversation or Zoom conversation with her son. There has been no abuse reported from the mother, no CPS
mm-hmm,
claims. She has been an excellent, outstanding mother. Because when we talk to
mm-hmm,
people, they say, well, she took the child. So what can give us history on the mom? Is she on drugs? Has she abused the child? None of that has happened. Nobody can understand why there's a no contact order in place.
hmm,
And even me being a foster parent, I have had children that have come to my home that have been abused by their parents, and CPS did everything in their power to make sure that these kids had visitations with these parents that abused them, because they say that the parental relationship is important. Those are kids that should not have had a relationship with their parents. So I
mm-hmm,
cannot understand for the life of me, and no clear reason has been given as to why there's a no contact order in place.
mm-hmm,
Um, there have been several attempts from Ms. Sanders' daughter to her attorney has been asking for status hearing and updates, and they've all gone ignored. I
mm-hmm,
have gone to court with them 2 times to give testimony, which the floor was never opened up from testimony, for us to testify.
my goodness.
And so, for me, it's all about being fair. It's all about
Mm-hmm,
doing the right thing. Please understand, I'm not here attacking her at all, but
right.
I'm
Mm-hmm,
calling out wrongdoing. And
mm-hmm,
And if what she's doing is right, if she stands by her ruling, we need it on record as to what is going on. Because
Yes.
anybody, Ray Charles can see, and I'm not no disrespect, can see that something is something not right, that's been happening, with this case. And all we want is this child is being harmed. We want this child to stop being hurt because of whatever
Mm,
biases
mm,
the judge
mm,
may
mm,
have,
mm.
whatever it is going on. We have no idea, why this case is going the way that it's going. And my friend and her daughter, they've done every single thing that they possibly could. They've gone to CPS. They spoke with the Attorney General's office. They've had 5, 6, 7 different attorneys.
Mm,
Um,
mm,
the
mm.
attorneys will represent them. They go in full of fire to represent them, and then when they go to court and start getting the pushback from the judge, the attorney like, we just can't deal with this anymore. And so we have to make sure that we're doing the right thing. And at this point, we have to get this child back home, back in safe hands, because there are a lot of other things that I don't want to go into right now, that have been happening,
Mhm.
with this child. But it's all at the point of now. It's all going to come out, because we can't allow other people to be hurt. And since this story has broken, there have been so many people that have said they've gone through similar situations in this same courtroom.
Mhm.
And so it's
Mhm.
really a pattern of things. And so I don't know if the judge is misinterpreting things. I don't know what the problem is, but what I do know is that children are being harmed, and we need to get to the bottom of it, and we need to figure out what's going on.
Now, listen, I can only imagine the heartbreak that the mother is feeling as it relates to her not being able to hold her baby close to her, let alone a Zoom call or FaceTime or something like that. Um, Generally, mothers sometimes can sympathize with the mother. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Um, it's unnatural not to sympathize with the mother, in my opinion. Now, these are some strong allegations. Now, you said that you've been there to testify, but you were not able. The floor was never opened up for you to testify in her courtroom.
She would not have a hearing each time. And what happened is,
Mm,
well,
mm,
I
mm,
went in the courtroom, and so when the proceedings began, she would say, "Anybody that's going to testify, you need to leave, because you can't sit in the courtroom and hear before you
right.
testify." And
That's
so she'll say
right.
that, and so I would have to leave because I plan on giving testimony, but
And
it's
she
never
didn't. You didn't
open.
get to listen. Uh
They,
huh.
yeah, and so I don't understand for the life of me, why aren't you not hearing these things? Now, since this
But
child has, you said what
I've
now?
heard people say, "Oh, she's a really awesome judge. I've known her since she was young." You know, but from when I spoke with the grandmother, I'm told that this judge. Let me put her back up full mask with her picture. I'm told that this judge's mother was over the case first,
Yes.
and when she was seemingly grandfathered in behind her mother, right? Um, she carried on and took up whatever stance her mom had, even though she had jurisdiction to hear this case again. But you say a hearing is not even admissible in her court.
Yes.
And you were saying, and since that last time, that baby, what now? You were about to say something about the child.
Yeah. Yeah. In the last proceeding, when we were there, the attorney begged this judge to allow the mother
Mm.
to have Zoom, say, and nonetheless, a Zoom or Skype call with her son. And she looked at her and she told her, "My ruling is going to remain the same. I'm not changing anything.
She told her what now? Say it again.
My ruling is not going to change. I'm not changing anything. I'm satisfied with the way things are."
Now we're talking about, for those who were just tuning in, we're talking about the same judge According to Mississippi Today, okay, Hinds County judge orders Clarksdale newspaper to remove editorial alarming press advocates. Hold on. And we were concerned here in the Delta. Who is this judge? And why would this judge do? Why would this judge have the audacity? Because it takes audacity to do this, but she had to walk it back. And this is what I found Mississippi Today. This was in February now. We're talking about July, and more people are coming forth speaking on what they have gone through with this judge, right? And they're saying that she's unwilling to listen. They tell you, go get a lawyer. Well, when you get a lawyer, right? Now, that means nothing in her courtroom, from what I gather. Now, these are some strong allegations. Now, being a journalist and seeing this, that had us on the edge of our seats, because if she could do that and make a journalist take down an editorial, we would be doomed as reporters across this state. Said a Mississippi judge ordered a newspaper to remove an editorial criticizing the mayor of Clarksdale and city leaders after the official sued the news outlet, leading press advocates to criticize the order as one of the most egregious First Amendment violations in recent years. Egregious First
Egregious.
Amendment violation in recent years. Now, just imagine a mother who wants to see her baby on FaceTime or virtual, some type of way, being told, my choice, my decision is my decision. You're not going to see that baby, doggone it, not in my courtroom. I bet she sees her children every day.
Absolutely. And
I bet you she sees her children. She holds her children. She cries with her children. She gets to kiss the boo boo of her children. Now, I don't know this woman, but these are some strong allegations, and we got people coming forth. And I am ready to interview anybody who has come up against this same judge, who Mississippi Today, now quote, I quote, it says, one of the most egregious First Amendment violations. Now, if we got violations on the journalistic side, just imagine what this mother is going through. Who's going to call it out? If it's not in mainstream media, no mainstream Mississippi media, nobody's really paying attention. Nobody's paying attention. You get to live to fight another day, or do whatever it is in your courtroom that you perceive to be, or however you interpret the law to be, right? But you are holding your baby every night if you want to. You have that liberty, not this mother. And from what I gather now, this judge's mother was over this baby's case.
absolutely.
And it takes audacity. It takes audacity to say, my choice is what I said in this courtroom, and hit the gavel down and walk off like a model. Are you kidding me?
And
The
the
same judge, the same judge.
and the mother. And now I wasn't here at the case, at one of the hearings with the mother, but the mother, which is the mother told them that a single black mother cannot raise a little black boy. He needs his father in his life.
Listen,
And that's on
listen.
the record.
From what I gather, her husband is deceased. Is that correct?
Yes, her husband, absolutely. He passed away of quite about 2016, 17, 18 ish. So he's been deceased for a minute.
What is that quote again?
That a single black mother cannot raise a little black boy. He needs his father in his life.
Maybe she doesn't have sons. I don't
Yes,
know.
she does.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Are
but
you freaking kidding me? Are
that's
you
what
serious? Wait a minute, because I'm not done reading this article, because what they're alleging about this hearing, not going forth to listen at this. It says, without a hearing for the newspaper, Hinds County Chancellor Crystal Wise Martin, listen, without a hearing, without a hearing for the newspaper. There's a pattern. Hold on, let me finish reading. Without a hearing for the newspaper, Hinds County Chancellor Crystal Wise Martin issued a temporary restraining order against the Clarksdale Press Register on Tuesday after the news outlet wrote on February 8th, blah, 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 blah. Hold on, I got something coming in. And based on what I'm seeing in research and the allegations that are coming forth, there is seemingly a pattern in this courtroom where this judge presides over these cases, right? Says without a hearing, without a hearing, I won't hear nothing.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do a restraining order, temporary restraining order. Now the paper is way in Clarksdale. And I'm not even done. Wait a minute. The Mississippi Today article goes on to say the column criticized the city for not sending the newspaper a notice about a meeting city commissioners held over a proposed effort to ask the state legislature for permission to enact a local tax on alcohol, marijuana, and tobacco. What's the problem? When you are an elected official, it comes with the territory, and shame on this judge for issuing a temporary restraining order. Shame on this judge for issuing a temporary restraining order where the newspaper was not even privy to know that there was going to be a restraining order against them. Like, are you serious? Houston, we got a problem.
A huge problem.
And if this mother is not allowed an opportunity to have custody of her baby, this won't be the end of talking about this same judge that Mississippi Today did this article on. I got another article just came in. Thank you so much, from a reliable source. And this article,
we appreciate it. Thank you, whoever that source is. Thank y'all for sending this over.
yes, they are sending things in about her. Hold on, because this is the word. I like the word Mississippi Today is egregious.
Egregious.
I never heard a woman say, well, a single woman. Now, these are some strong allegations. Single woman is not able to raise a little black boy, single black woman. But your husband died. Your husband died. Rest in peace to him.
And so
because I'm told people loved him.
And so her mom is the one, that made this statement. So in that case, in her mom's eye, which was a judge, I guess her mom was saying that she should take her sons away and give them to somebody else.
So she got sons.
She has sons. Yeah.
But this mother who you are advocating for and willing to testify for, and I imagine people say you running out. You need to do what representatives do, brother. You're running out. You need to go along to get along. What do you say about that?
I told them I cannot sit by and see anybody get mistreated. When we're put in a position where you're able to have a voice and actually help people that feel like they do not have a voice, you got to stand up and you got to let your voice be heard. And so I'm going to go all the way, whatever it is that we have to do to make sure that this child gets justice. Because if I sit back and allow this to happen, I'm just as bad as the person doing it to this child. A child.
I'm trying to go on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, a child is suffering. We have pictures of the young man when he was with his mother. You can look because picture tells a story. You can see how happy he was, groomed, nice, a happy kid. We found a picture on Facebook with him with the dad, and he just does not even look the same. You can tell there are some things going on. And since, he's been, with the dad, when the dad comes to court, he doesn't even bring the child to court. The
And
last
she doesn't tell him, hey, this is not, hold
and
on.
the last time she said, "Well, I'll advise you next time to have him here with you."
Next
But
time.
next time, this child, the court has not reviewed this child's medical records. This child is not in therapy. This child, we hadn't seen him, report cards, none of that. I mean, we know absolutely nothing about this child. There's
No
no
updates.
no updates at all. The dad would come in and say, he doing this, he doing good, so and so, so and so. And she said, okay, all right, fine. But no updates.
But I bet you the school districts tells a different story.
So
Now,
this child has reported abuse to the school district, which they have contacted Child Protection Services.
the
Multiple.
judge don't know this?
She won't, she
Well, I
doesn't.
imagine long as it's not her child. Long as it's not her child, her son.
That's that's what it is. That's the only, I mean, I can't figure out why. It's just, when I tell people the story, people are like in disbelief. Like,
Yes,
you're
because
probably,
I can't believe it.
and if I were not there seeing this and knowing what was going on, I would be in disbelief as well. But yes, abuse has been reported. Um, it's heartbreaking.
We're talking about vote for black people. Vote black. Vote black. Get you somebody black up in there. What do you say to that?
I say we have to get the right person in there. It doesn't matter what their race is. We need the right person. We need to get out of this. I'm voting for my friend. Oh, I knew her when she was a little girl. I knew him when he was a little boy. He was a sweet. I'm not disputing that, probably was, but that does not make you fit for the position that you're trying to be in. We got to get qualified people, get out of this buddy stuff, and we got to start calling things out when they happen. When we talk about judges, a lot of people don't like to talk about judges because
No,
they,
no.
they have they have so much immunity. It's
Yeah.
really the way we can't really regulate them. If a complaint is filed, guess what? It goes to their peers to review it. And
Well,
so,
I'm stupid enough to believe that the peers, once they review this, same judge. Now, this article, I'm told that this article came to me, and I'm told this is the Clearing Ledger's article. If your peers review the fact that you're the same judge without a hearing, without a hearing, told one of my colleagues that they had a restraining order against them for talking about a public elected official, I don't think they would take kindly to that. The same judge.
they should not. They should tell her, look, what you're doing is not right. We got to sanction you,
Yes.
for the things you're doing. And I'm going to tell you another thing. They filed a complaint with the
Mm-hmm.
judicial review on her, telling everything that happened. And it
Mm-hmm.
came back, they did not find any violations. They sent the case file
Well,
to them.
if they find out that this is the same judge, you got to frame this thing up. See, and another thing, it needs exposure. And what's happening is, I know we have more black people, black independent people down in the Jackson area who can shed some light on what this mother and this family is alleging. They're only allegations. So why
Yep.
not talk about the allegations and move forward? Black independent media, so-called people.
That's it. And like you said, with allegations, talk about it and either prove them or disprove them.
That's right. That's
If
right.
you bring it up, the media they don't have to come and jump aboard and say, well, the judge is wrong, wrong, wrong. No,
Yes.
but you come and you
Yes.
put the facts out there. This is what the family's saying. This is what the judge is saying. But
Yes.
when any person looks at this and see that this woman has had her child taken away from her for almost 3 years with no contact,
Jesus.
she has not abused this child. She's not on drugs. She's a model citizen. She works. She does everything that she's supposed to do. And when you look at that, Nobody in their right mind. I even looked up the statute for no contact orders, and
Yes.
none of that. This mother has not done anything. Are you
She doesn't
familiar
even
with?
fit the description of no contact.
She doesn't fit it. Have you heard about the Albright rule, the Albright rule, the Albright rule? That's what they use in custody
Uh-huh.
hearings to figure out
Uh-huh.
should the child be with the mother or the father.
Mm-hmm.
They applied it to this case, and guess who was the perfect fit per this formula?
The mother.
The mother. Yes, they ignored it.
Once we began to talk more and investigate, because that's what I do, I investigate the investigation. And I talk to my colleagues. Listen, they listen to me. We
Yes.
talk, white and black, whether you want to believe it or not, in Jackson, in the Delta, and throughout. We talk. These are some strong allegations. And we're looking at an article right here that's talking about that same judge that this family is alleging has no allowed no has stopped the contact for 3 years. How old is this baby?
He is. I want to say 11. He's 11 now.
3 years. Can you imagine what has happened in 3 years? And he's not able to lay his eyes on his mother, the woman who carried him. But I bet you she sees her child. She
Yeah.
knows what her child is doing for the past 3 years.
And when you think about this young man has been ripped from a loving home, a caring
Hmm.
family,
Hmm.
put back with an abuser, which has been all documented.
Allegedly.
Uh-huh.
Allegedly. I'll say
Alleged,
allegedly.
which is,
Hmm.
yeah, but being put back over there, what do you think this child is feeling? Oh, my mom,
Jesus.
my mom has given up on me. Oh, nobody loves me. How is she allowing? Because kids don't understand
They don't,
how
they can't process that.
they can't process it. How oh my mom, I got ripped and I'm over here and I just don't know, what to do. Imagine the trauma that's putting this child through. This child is going to have to go through the rest of his life
Doesn't
um,
matter.
with this
Doesn't
trauma.
matter because whatever she says in her court, according to what was said, it stands. That's her courtroom,
Yes, yeah,
allegedly. Okay.
yes.
But
And that's how it's being run. Like I can do what I want to do.
my God. And
It is.
if her peers truly knew that this is the same judge, Hines County is in the hot seat.
Hmm.
They're not in the clear just yet. I'm talking about at the top.
Yeah, we have a lot going on.
And and these indictments and allegations must be cleared up or proven, right? When I think about Clay Edwards, I automatically think about Anthony Fox. Clay laid down his I'll say he used his white privilege, as some people would say, to ring the alarm over and over. Anthony Fox, Anthony Fox. You're going to hear about Anthony Fox until the cows come home. He used his, what some may consider white privilege, to get in touch with anybody who would listen. And it just so happened they were at the top. We're going to have to talk about this story in the
We are.
Rankin County area. We're going to ring the alarm about this baby. We're going to have to ring the alarm about this baby to anybody who will listen. And my thing is this: it doesn't have to go viral. We just need the right person to hear it.
It needs to fall in the hands of the right person,
The
and
right
it
person.
and it's so bad. We talked to a social worker that's over
Mm-hmm.
in Rankin County about it. Presenting all the facts
Mm-hmm.
as to what was going on, and the social worker said, based upon that, if this had happened in Rankin County, that child would be back at home and their dad would be in jail.
You
That's
better
what the
know it.
that's what the social worker.
They don't play in Rankin County.
Not at all.
You can say whatever you want to say, and I say this. No, I don't agree what happened with the Goon Squad. But if people found out that Brian Bailey was no longer in Rankin County, they would run over that whole place. They would run them over. So they have set a precedence in Rankin County, in the courts, in law enforcement. And the citizens are, they may feel like they're not being heard, but hey, that's a whole nother day, a whole nother ball game. But we're talking about a child who a judge just for 3 years. 3 years. I can't see Judge Roberts as a chancery judge in Rankin County saying no. 3 years, you're not gonna see your son. I don't think Judge Roberts would do that. I can't see him doing that in Rankin County. And I've sat in his courtroom. I just can't see him being Billy Bad Butt talking to a mother that way. Not
I
a Zoom call, not a Skype.
not
Are
even
you serious?
not even a Skype or Zoom. I mean, and it was so bad. And so my friend's daughter, she moved, she relocated to Tennessee
Hmm.
because initially when all the abuse was happening, she wanted a new life. So she wanted to start her life up in Tennessee. Well, when they started going through the court process, the judge ordered weekly visitations. And my friend's daughter had to drive from Chattanooga, Tennessee, down here to Jackson so that he could have to honor the visitations. The judge didn't say that the dad had to go up there. She honored those visitations because she wanted to go by the ruling in the court. She was trying to
That's
abide by the ruling.
unreasonable. That's unreasonable.
Everything that this judge has asked of this young lady, she has done it because she did it because she wanted to make sure that she was not in contempt. It got to a point where she ordered um, Zoom visitations with the dad, and so each day it was a 1 hour Zoom that he would have to do. That they had to do. Do you know that this man never would get on there? So each day she would
What?
no, each day her son would be at like football practice or baseball practice. She would leave her job to go over there for that hour, pull him off the field so that they can do to abide with the court order. They would get on there, and this man didn't have the decency to get on there and talk to his child, which he said he wanted in his life. They documented all of this and took it to the court and told the court he's not complying.
We
Nothing
might need a new
happened.
judge. We might need a new judge.
Well,
I
they've
think
asked.
they got more than one chancery judge over there. We might need a new judge, or we might need to move it to Rankin somewhere.
And you know what? That we have asked her to recuse herself, and she said, "Well, I received the request to recuse myself, and I feel like I'm unbiased, and I'm staying right here. I'm not going to recuse myself." So that has been asked for, but she won't do it.
Are you kidding me?
And I once again, that's not alleged. I heard that. I saw it. I heard it. I looked at her when she said that. And my thing is, if I were a judge and I had a complaint filed against me saying that I was being unfair, and this family comes back before me again and say, "Well, can you recuse yourself?" I would gladly recuse myself. I would say, "You know what? I'm going to let another judge deal with this. Just so in case y'all think y'all aren't getting proper justice with me, go to another judge and maybe they can have a different look on things. It's not an ego thing. It's I will let you go." But no, she said, "No, I'm not recusing myself."
And this is allegedly the same daughter who mother was over this baby's case.
Yes, yes.
It
The
sounds
mother,
personal.
the mother was on the case, and the mother, when
Who
she
was a
retired,
judge?
her name was Judge Patricia Wise, and when she retired, her daughter, Judge Crystal Wise Martin, ran for a seat and won, and so the case came over to the current judge, and they had an attorney at the time, and the attorney was going to take the case. She was working on the case with the mother, and when the daughter won, the attorney said, "I can't deal with it anymore." She said, "I can't. I know that this is
Jesus.
fair." And so the attorney said, I'm not going up against her because I know the drama and the things that are going to be attached to it." And so the attorney quit because of that.
This is sad. This is sad. We got comments here. Let's deal with them. Um Brittany Bowman says there's a case now in Rankin County. The precedent has been set that we can do anything. I have a friend that was jailed for a crime that he didn't commit. Nothing new coming out of Rankin. But we're talking about the court system. We know that when it comes to a child, that child would have been at home by now, especially with
Uh-huh.
the allegations. Brittany Bowman goes on to say people are continuing to fail law abiding citizens to meet their own agendas in Rankin, Hines, and Madison County. People are speaking up because people are speaking up because they're afraid of being victimized. I think she means they're not. However, now we're speaking up against all injustices. And
Yes.
again, thank you so much for weighing in on the discussion, Brittany. Again, we're dealing with these as allegations. We have to deal with them as allegations. And I know my representative, Fabian Nelson, says, I'm telling you what I heard with my own ears,
And saw with my own
right?
eyes. Hmm.
And
Everything I'm telling
saw
you. Uh-huh.
with his own eyes. And he says he knows matter of factly now that this judge is a mother. The father died. May he rest in peace. And I don't know the dynamics of her home, but if these allegations are true, she's at home with her children. And
Yep.
if her mother was over that, presiding over that case, and then now she has inherited that, and you've been asked to please take these babies, this case off your docket and send it somewhere else. Why are you so vested in this case? Why you got to be over this case? Because the people I talk to, they speak highly of her. They speak highly of you, Miss Crystal Wise, whatever the last name is. They speak highly of you.
They do. They
They
do.
speak highly of you, and I don't know if it's because the that's my sorority sister, that's my cousin. Her mom was good to me, or she's just, oh, I remember her when she was young. I don't know, but we're talking about injustices happening in a family unit, right? And it's a fractured family, right? How do you fix the fracture? Because 3 years out of a baby's life and he's now 11, can you imagine not being able to see your baby's baby?
I would lose my mind. I would lose my mind if I don't know how this mother holds it together. She has so much strength because
Jesus.
there is no way in hell I could deal with that, knowing the history. Like I said, there's a whole lot to the story that I'm not mentioning, but knowing the history and the things that this child has been going through,
Mhm.
it blows your mind. And
This is heartbreaking.
you have judges. We go out and we elect these judges to protect us and make sure our rights are
You're
protected.
fair. You're treated them fairly.
Ladies
And
just
you know this case. You're familiar with the case. I
yeah,
thought they're not even supposed to know what's coming before them. You're familiar with this case. Why
you're
not
from
move around?
Lady Justice, if you look at it, holds the scales and she has a blindfold on because your justice is supposed to be blind. But in this
Supposed to
case
be.
right here, justice has 20/20 vision and is going towards against a person that it should not. And you have to, as a judge, you have to be unbiased when you're hearing these things. You got to stick to facts.
Three 3 years.
3 years.
And Mississippi Today said that there was no hearing. There was no hearing for the newspaper. She issued a temporary restraining order.
Mm.
It sounds like this is a pattern in that courtroom that she is in. And we got to do some investigating and find out, because if I have people who are willing to talk to me, we're going to have to get some people in Hines County to blow the whistle and ring the alarm.
Yo,
This
I mean,
baby, 3 years, 3 years. My baby is 6, 7, 8, 9. I cannot imagine not seeing him until he's 10, or never. A child who I birthed in this world.
and once again, with me, my whole thing is it has to be fair. You
and
have to
and
make sure if you're a judge, you have guidelines that you're supposed to follow. You have rules that you're supposed to be following.
Supposed to.
And you,
Supposed to.
yeah, and you need to be going straight from this and not making them up as you go and running your courtroom like you run your house.
Seemingly. Hmm.
Yes,
Hmm.
that's what has to happen. We have to be fair, and I'm hoping and praying that um eventually the right thing is done. I mean, this the damage that's been done can never be repaired. However,
Hmm.
we look forward to another day where this wrong is made right.
Somebody get the judge in here. Let her know we're talking about these allegations against her. Because
Absolutely.
guess what? Let me take a picture there. Hold on. Fabian could be lying. Tell her get in here and clear these allegations up.
That's it. There you go. That's a good one
Let,
there.
let's
Yeah. Yeah.
let's
Come
clear it up.
clear your record, clear your name. Come in here and maybe give compelling evidence as to why you ruled the way you ruled. If you
Over
have
and
facts,
over. Over
if
and over.
you cannot argue when you have facts. You can't argue with facts. If you have
Hmm.
factual stuff, you can say, "I ruled this way because state statute says so and so. This was
Yes.
violated. That was violated." End of
Hmm.
discussion. I mean, that's all that I'm saying needs to happen.
But to allege that an attorney quit because when this judge won, they said, "Hey, I already know we're up against. Look, just take this case and shove it."
Yeah, good luck to you. I'm so sorry, but I can't. I'm not going to battle this out. I'm not. I don't want to deal with it.
Listen, we're not supposed to talk about judges in the state of Mississippi, but I'm gonna tell you something about President Trump. He has shown us that they are not above reproach. They're not above reproach. People may not agree with the fact that he calls out judges and things like that, but guess what? They're not above reproach. You can be talked about. You're elected. You're elected.
That's
That
it.
comes with the territory. So somebody get her in here. Tell her the Mike magazine said get in here because hey, this is only the beginning, and it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. We got independent journalists who are willing to ring the alarm and allow their platform to be used to talk about not just ranking, but we're going to talk about Hinds County judges. Because I talked about Judge Whitney McKay Adams in Rankin County. And before that, I talked about a judge in Maryland. And again, President Trump has popularized it. He has popularized it. And we're going to talk about this until we get down to the bottom of it. So you let that mother know that she's not alone.
That's it. We're not going anywhere. We're going to keep on until justice rolls down like a mighty stream, as Dr. Martin Luther King said.
Absolutely.
We we have fought too long. We have fought too hard against the
Listen,
opposition, against discrimination, for us to sit here and do it to each other. That
you
hurts
know what I
more.
tell people? Fabian, I tell people follow your vote. Don't just vote and walk away, follow it. If you voted for this judge, we want you to get in here too.
That's
Because
it.
we need you to hold that judge accountable. You voted for this person.
That's it.
How do I
You
know? Because she won. She won. So somebody voted for her.
That's it. Even myself included. I want you to
Come on.
follow me and hold me accountable. If it's something that I'm doing I shouldn't be doing and you don't like, I have an open door policy. You need to come and you need to let me know that I didn't vote for you to go out here and do this, and I will
Come
not get
on.
mad at you one bit.
Come on.
Y'all employ me. Y'all pay my salary. I work for the people, and we gotta get back to that versus, oh, I'm not gonna say anything. Oh no, no, we gotta. I don't care who you are. If you're at the
Mhm.
doing something you shouldn't be doing, and you're an elected official, it needs to be brought to the light.
That's what my job is about. As an investigative journalist, I am going to get down to the bottom of it. That's my plan. And I'm gonna be fair about it. I'm gonna give the judge an opportunity to say what needs to be said. She may not want to say anything, but that olive branch is going to be extended to we're going to give her that opportunity to speak to the allegations of several people who have come forth.
You know,
And
like you
I'm
said, like you said earlier, you were saying a
mhm,
lot of times we were talking about news, how you know, Fox News, I don't want to watch Fox News. But the thing is, you have to give people a platform. Because
mhm,
she may be able to come on here and say one thing. She may be able to call every single case and say, okay, this is state statute. This is why I rule that way. And
right.
then it shuts it down.
Shut it down. Shut
Uh-huh.
it down.
Yeah.
And shut it down without being emotional.
Yes.
Yeah, come on. You owe it to the people to know why you rule the way you do. You did, to not see a mother, his own mother, for 3 years. I don't know what she could say to make me understand this any statute that would say, no, you can't see this baby that you gave birth to. And she goes home, I imagine, every night to see her own. It's nothing you can tell me. I want to extend it though. I want to know what you have to say. And then we can come back and examine our capital P's and Q's again. But in
Well,
the
look,
meantime, if you're as long as you're in our state capital, you're gonna answer. You're gonna give us some answers.
that's it. That is it. Because when you out here on the campaign trail, you telling everybody everything on the sun that they want to. Oh, you're open book and transparent on the campaign trail. What you gonna do? How
Mm-hmm.
great you are, and you're gonna do
Mm-hmm.
this and that. And so
Mm-hmm.
we need the same energy once you're
Yeah.
in office and when you actually have the job. We need the
Mm-hmm.
same energy, and you maintain that transparency as to why you are doing this. And this is not an isolated incident. We've had several people. I can count 5 people that have reached out and said they have similar situations to this. Similar.
Listen, and after tonight, there are going to be more. See, let me tell you something. The exposure is what uh lets people know I'm not alone. Like you said, when the lady said, "Oh, when I heard you talk about domestic violence, it let me know I wasn't alone." This mother, information being pushed, and I know there is this is the abbreviated version of it, but it lets other people know I'm not alone. Wait a minute, I got some allegations too.
Oh, because you hear something like that, you be like, "Oh my gosh, she's just picking on me. What have I done to be picked on like that?"
Yes,
But when
yes,
you hear other people
yes.
say, you're like, "Oh, it's a pattern." That's just her demeanor, I guess, or So that does help knowing that you're not alone. And we want to find everybody that's out there. Everybody that's out there.
They're going to come to us.
Yes,
They're going to find us.
and we just need to figure out what it is that's going on, because that's these families today. It could be our family tomorrow.
You, you're
Easy.
you're absolutely correct. And let me tell you something. People will say, "Well, Angie, you don't live in Jackson, but that's my state capital.
Absolutely.
That's my state's capital. So I that's important to me.
And you never know. You may have a case. You might have to go through chancery court up there
Never know.
in your county, and you may get a change of venue, and it may come down here to Hines County Chancery Court to change of venue. And
Never
then
know.
what?
You
You sitting there
you
with
never know.
somebody that's not doing what they're supposed to do. So you have to always be able to put yourself in the shoes of people when they're going through something and say, that could be me. What would
Mm-hmm.
I do with me? What would I do
Mm-hmm.
if that was my mother, my sister, my child? What would I do? Would I just turn a blind eye and say it doesn't bother me?
Well, but now from what I gather, this dad is supposed to be somebody who went to a university in the area, and I don't think the mother went to that university. And you're somebody, so we're gonna look out for you. These are strong allegations.
Hmm.
Oh, don't worry about it. He went. He we know him. We gonna look out for you. No, look out for the best interest of all.
That's it. You need to look at that
Because at the
whole.
end of the day, that family is still fractured. What can you say you've done as it relates to making certain that he becomes whole?
Because when we talk about it, and we talk about our young adults
Mm-hmm.
come from broken homes.
Mm-hmm.
You have created a broken home for a young man that
Oh,
has
oh, oh.
this. When he was with his mother, he's the only child, had his own bedroom, everything he wanted and needed had in that house. When this father got him, he had to come to a house full of kids. I think it was like 4 other kids there sharing bedrooms.
Allegedly. You know,
Allegedly.
can't,
I gotta
because
learn.
it could be more, it could be less. You know,
Give me
listen.
but you
Could
so
be with the cats, the rats, and the dogs. You know, we don't know. Could be more.
so
You
and so
know.
you've taken. I mean, you have basically created a broken home for this young man.
Effectively,
Yes,
effectively,
yes, yes,
effectively. If
yes.
this is true,
Mm-hmm.
my God, my God, Fabian, I thank you so much. We're gonna have to follow up on that story.
Okay.
And man, I truly appreciate you because I know you're a really busy man. And to be here on our inaugural examining our P's and Q's, it means so much to me. And I'm telling you, I was nervous, boy. I was wiping it. Jesus. Lord have mercy.
I told you it
We
was
here
gonna be
with
all
King Fabian Nelson. I call him King Brother, y'all. King Brother.
right. I told you it was gonna be good and easy.
Yes,
But thank
sir.
you for it. It means a lot to me for you to have me on your show,
Mhm,
listening to me. It means a lot. I know to
mhm,
the Sanders family. I know it means a
mhm.
lot to them because
Absolutely.
they have felt alone, for so long.
Mm,
They've wanted to speak up about it for so long,
mm,
and I told them,
mm.
y'all, I like now it's not the time. Let's make sure we go through the proper channels. Let's make sure we
Right.
do everything, do everything that way. And
Mhm,
we exhausted everything, and I told them now, we got to do whatever it takes to get this child back home. So I believe in being diplomatic when we have
me
things like
too.
this and trying to, because like I say, other elected officials understand how it can be. I understand the scrutiny, and I think that
Mhm.
we should be able to work together. But this right here,
This is
it's
extreme.
it's extreme. It is a child suffering, and
Oh
so
God.
we appreciate you for just being a voice, being an advocate, helping us get this
Mhm,
word out
mhm.
and bringing some relief to this family because we are going to get justice.
I
We're
believe
going.
it.
I prayed so hard last night, and I'm praying hard again tonight. I prayed hard last night. The Lord hear from me every night, but He don't. But He really heard from me last night because
Come on. Come
I
on.
couldn't sleep. It was on my mind.
Mhm.
It was really heavy on my mind. But
Mm.
we're gonna get justice for this family, and he's an amazing young man, an
You
amazing young.
watch. You watch.
Yeah,
When I get through, white folks, black folks, all folks gonna be talking about this baby who ain't seen his mama in 3 years.
that's
And
it.
now he's 11. Everybody going, I don't care what university the daddy went to allegedly. I don't care nothing about that because we've seen people be walked out of that Thad Cochran courthouse several times who went to all these different universities.
Harvard, Stanford,
We've seen
everywhere.
it. Come on.
Yeah, that's
We've
true.
seen it. I
We
don't
have.
care about that. We got real hurt, real issues, broken hearts, broken homes. You talking about effectively broken.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Uh huh.
Good job.
Yes.
Good
Like
job. If
just going, oh wow, like you just going, oh wow, I'm just going to just wreck this home and then move on to something else.
allegedly.
Alleged.
Listen,
Oh,
I mean effectively, allegedly, you know.
effective. Okay, I like that.
Listen, I know more people are going to come forth, and it is so rare to hear a state rep come forth and stick his neck out and say, hey, we're going to be diplomatic about this. Let's make certain that we're crossing all the T's, dotting all the I's, so that we are truly on our P's and Q's about what we're doing. And I can't see you just haphazardly jumping out doing something.
Absolutely, my name is important. I work too hard to put my name on some foolishness. and, like I say, I get all kind of on a daily basis. People randomly, and I can't get too invested because I don't know, and I'm not going to just go out on a limb because sometimes people make stuff up. But this
But
right
look,
here,
look now. Remember, you had me killing off somebody who was a singer.
oh, what was the name? Joe, what was it?
I
Big Joe? what was his name?
What was his name? We killed
Uh,
him off, Lord.
hey, Brittany, if you're still on here, what's the guy's name? He went to Lanier. He lived out in Texas. He
Passed
passed
away.
away, and he has a nickname that's similar to some blues artists.
Mm-hmm.
King George.
Yes,
King
that's his
George.
name.
King George. That's it. Poor King George.
Poor King George. Listen, we want to take this time right now. We want to tell you right now, we got it wrong. Right. And it happens. We get it wrong. But his name was King George. I mean, we weren't wrong about that part. But when you got people who share the same name and then they're in the same category, right?
Entertainment.
Entertainment. And it's so easy to get it mixed up. And I just want to say, brother, I am sorry. We took it down as soon as we found out he went to Lanier. You know.
And look, I'm gonna go out on a limb with you, y'all. I'm the one that told the tour, so look, I'm gonna take my share of responsibility for it. Too, things happen, but everything
Yeah.
lined up with King George. Everything.
Yeah, and we want to say rest in peace to the young man from Lanier.
Yes,
My heart just went out to him regardless of if he was popular or not. You know what I'm saying? And his family. And so for that, I do want to send my condolences to the family of King George who went to Lanier.
absolutely.
Yeah. But we got it wrong. We got it wrong. But hey, we we we
We
we
go.
we big enough to say when we messed up.
That's it. We're gonna make it up.
We make it up. Thank you
uh-huh.
so much, brother. Listen, anything else you want to say before we go?
One more thing I do want to say.
Mhm.
In 20 minutes, I will be 40 years old.
What? Well,
So
you
yeah.
look like every bit of 27.
So I know I just love you for a reason. I knew it was a reason. Yeah, I will be the big 4-0 in 20 minutes. So a new
Oh,
decade.
happy birthday. Let me be the
Uh,
first one. Oh, happy birthday to you. That's how we sing it at the church here. May you see, feel Jesus near every day of the year. Oh, happy birthday. Listen, listen. I thought you was one of them YNs they be saying.
oh, really? No, I'm an ON.
One of the old neighbors, as they say.
uh-huh.
You an old neighbor.
I'm an
Man,
old one.
you a unk.
Yep. Yep.
I knew I was an auntie. I knew I was an auntie when we got lost trying to go see Jamal, man. I'm like, we coming, baby.
You
Auntie
got my
had it
own.
wrong, but Auntie had it wrong. We got lost. You said I knew you was country when you got lost in Meridian.
Yeah, you got lost like you in Atlanta somewhere. I like you go get on there and say it's only 3 X's here. Oh,
People don't know how you treat me.
what in the world? It's like you're in a metropolitan city somewhere. There's only 2-3 streets. Come on, major streets, and you at the lost, about to lose your mind, about to have a panic attack.
I was having a meltdown. Listen, every time I get with my friend girl and we go out of town, we get lost. You said that's how I knew you was country. That's how I knew it. And I'm
That's it.
proud of the country. I'm proud in country.
Ain't nothing like being country. I love being from
I
country.
know. I know.
Really
Hey,
in the world. Yeah,
hey, so happy birthday, happy birthday, man.
thank you, and thank you for allowing me to do something that I love doing to bring my birthday home.
Absolutely.
About the
And
issue,
you know
so
what? We have been saying we were gonna get together and do this.
uh-huh.
And so when this came across my desk, I was like, man, let me ask Fabian if he can bring some clarity to this letter. And it just all popped out. It just worked out. Thank you so much, man.
It's my pleasure. Look, we're gonna keep it going. And thank you. Okay. And
Uh-huh.
we'll be
Tell
talking to
everybody
you.
about your show that you do at the radio station.
Oh, that's right. So we had a reliable representation talk show every Thursday at 6 o'clock p.m. 90.1 WMPR. We also live stream here on Facebook, Fabian Nelson.
Mhm,
Please feel free to check
mhm.
it out. And we just talk about the issues going on in the state of Mississippi and the local issues. So we got some hot topics tomorrow. We're talking about
And
some
you
good
have a
things.
co-host. What's your co-host name?
It is my co-host is Brittany Bowman.
So it's Brittany.
That's
Okay,
Brittany Bowman.
yeah.
That's my lady
Brittany
there.
go hard, man. Brittany go hard in them comments. I said, let me go and read this. I don't know who it is, but we sure appreciate you.
Yeah,
I
you
said,
better read
see?
Brittany to pull up. You ain't read my but
Listen.
we just love
Brittany
our
don't play
people.
no games. I watch you all, you know.
Uh,
She don't play no games. I said, let me read this, and then come to find out it was Brittany. I'm like,
uh,
because I forgot her name. I'm like, okay.
yeah,
I'm
we
glad
fight.
I
We
read that.
we
Is
fight for our
Brittany an
people.
attorney? Is she an attorney?
She's not.
Is she a doctor? It's something about her. What did she do? I can't remember what she said. Anyway.
Uh,
Anyway, we just gonna y'all tune into the show because we don't want Brittany to jump on Facebook for her birthday, okay?
Oh, I'm gonna get it
Yes.
anyway. I'm sure she gonna find a reason to get me. So yeah, that's why she up now waiting till 12 o'clock to call and fuss at me.
Oh, and sing happy. Why you let her tell you happy birthday first?
Oh, she gonna get you, not me.
Listen, tell Brittany next time we want her to come on too.
I surely will. She'll be ready.
Yeah. Let her know
Uh,
she's welcome next time. Hey, and on that note, we want to say thank you so much for staying with us on examining our capital P's and Q's with Angela Buckner and our special guest, Representative Fabian Nelson. Please share this. And I like to go back and watch this on my YouTube channel on a bigger screen. That way I can, go back and I can see some of the comments better, things like that. I can even see my articles better on a bigger screen. So I want to encourage you guys to please go and subscribe to our YouTube channel on the Mike Magazine. And on that note, Fabian, I salute you.
thank you. Salute you too, Queen. Thank you so much.
All right, King brother. And on that note, everybody, we want to say thank you so much. And we are out. Here. We are out of here. You heard it from Timothy Buckner. Look, they don't. You need to be asleep. They don't know you. Nah. It's a voice behind the mic. All right.
The Mike Magazine. Facebook is okay. However, YouTube is way better. Go follow my mom on YouTube.
That's right.
Like, subscribe, get notified. Timothy Buckner here. A voice behind the mic.
And remember, if you need a professional commercial, let me know. Angela Buckner here, the voice behind the mic.
The Mike Magazine. Facebook is okay. However, YouTube is way better. Go follow my mom on YouTube.
That's right.
Like, subscribe, get